Can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. I don't know what was going on there, but I think, once again, a mute button shifted on me a little bit. So that's great. I've been waking up my wife for the last 5 minutes, and for no reason whatsoever. Silly me. Okay, so for the Flames last night, I thought the main takeaway from that game was how well that top line played for Calgary. I thought that there was some good pushback from a pretty good Anaheim Ducks team. It was just eventually the talent won out for the Flames, right? And the main story of the day, and I know this is super hot takey, but the main story of the day for the Flames, I thought, was how well that top line played. They were exceptional again last night, and a lot of it was fueled by one Johnny Gaudreau. So shout out to Masonite for letting me know that the mic was off. We are back up and running here, and Masonite, we're up early just because, I just strictly coincidence that maybe there's a void in the morning hockey talk space today, and I just decide, out of nowhere, let's try an early morning Flames conversation. Just completely coincidental for sure, but it's a good Ducks team that the Flames played last night. I know they're out of it now, and I know they've kind of fallen off a bit, but they are still a team that if you don't mind your P's and Q's, they're gonna get you. So I thought a good win for the Flames last night. Maybe not as convincing as you would like for a team out of a playoff spot, but I thought the chances were there all night. The attempts were there all night. Defensively, I thought they played a pretty strong game. And when it's 3-2 in the third period, it was kind of one of those, is this game really this close? Why is this game this close? So I didn't think the score at all last night really showed how well the Flames played. I thought a pretty complete effort, although the top line was certainly the best of the lines last night. So just another performance that the Flames, I think, can feel pretty good about. I thought Markstrom a little sloppy with that turnover. Was it the third period that he just threw the puck away? Yeah, I think it was. That's a little concerning when the goalie is doing that at times. But overall, a pretty strong performance, and a team that is definitely going to finish first in the Pacific Division. I think one of the main things that I'm looking at now is there going to be any type of load management or anything for the Flames? That doesn't really seem like it's something that is in the vocabulary of Daryl Sutter. And you have some guys who are putting up point totals like they never have before, so they're probably going to want to keep that going. But when I think of the load management conversation, I think of in goal. And I think it is at a point now where maybe Markstrom could get a few extra days off here in the last little bit. I don't think the Kings are catching the Flames. I don't think the Oilers are catching the Flames. I think at this point, the most important thing for Calgary is that everyone is healthy going into the postseason, and specifically Markstrom. He has had such an amazing year and would gladly, I think, play every single game down the stretch and into the postseason. I just don't think he should have to. So I would like to see more Darth Vader at times, or Vladar, as it's probably actually pronounced. I just like the Star Wars pun. I would like to see a lot more of him as we go down the stretch. But yeah, I'm sure you're right, once things are clinched, but I think at this point, it's clinched-ish. You're clinched adjacent. It's close enough. I don't think you have to wait till the last 3 or 4 games of the regular season to give Markstrom some time off. I think the team is playing well enough now that you can, sit the goalie a little bit. Don't give him 3 weeks off. Don't say, hey, yeah, playoffs start when? A few weeks? All right, have fun in Mexico. Keep him at least a little bit fresh, but I don't think he has to play a massive workload or anything like that for the rest of the way. But yeah, Masonite, you're right. Once things get clinched up a little bit, I think that will, clinched up. Sorry, you can't a little bit clinch. You either clinch or you don't. Once things get clinched, I think that they will be in a in a much different spot, and I think you'll see more of Valimaki or Shillington. Shillington, I guess, is an injury one, but more of those guys for everyone else as it goes along. Cool note last night with Stone scoring his first of the season in his 500th career game. It's always cool when guys score in milestone games, and for Stone, he's not everyone's first choice, but this couldn't have been an easy last few years for him. Although, I mean, he's getting paid to hang out and watch some pretty good hockey, so there are worse ways to go about your day. But he, I would imagine, fancies himself as an everyday NHLer, and he has not been given that role by anyone. And so for him to take advantage of, A, a good milestone, B, an opportunity, is, I thought was really, really cool. And I thought it was great that he was able to put up that goal, and a big goal, in that kind of a way. So cool for, just a cool moment for Stone last night. Best number 7D in the league. I'm sure he has that on his mantle. I don't know if NHL players have business cards. If he does, I'm sure it is on there as well. And that'll be the title of his podcast when he eventually comes out with it one day, I'm sure. But he is, like, in terms of a number 7 defenseman, I think he's kind of the perfect number 7 defenseman. Like, he is not someone who you're worried about impeding his development at this point. I don't think we're in for a late career resurgence of Stone, but he just goes out there, gets the job done, isn't going to kill you on most nights anyway. So I think he is, I don't know if he's the best number 7 defenseman in the league. That's probably a blind spot for me. I don't really have my number 7 defenseman power rankings completely updated. But I think when you are thinking of number 7 defenseman, he is the perfect type to have as a number 7 defenseman. For those who are just tuning in for the first time with me, first of all, thank you. This is a all-time Flames roster that someone else put together and I've just stolen and have done a franchise with on this video game. So if you're noticing a few more nostalgic names than you're maybe used to, that would be the reasoning why it's an all-time franchise that we are doing. And I have a podcast. After a long time at 960, they decided that was probably long enough. So my podcast, Couch Potato Diary, comes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday with some bonus shows in there. We got a Masters preview up now with Adam Stanley, and we have a Major League Baseball preview up with just your boy talking about it. So, yeah, I do this Twitch thing semi-regularly, and I do the podcast on a regular basis. And if you could either follow on here or subscribe, which would be lovely, but you don't have to, or you could subscribe and download the podcast, that would be greatly appreciated. Big goal to get us rolling here. Also from the NHL last night, I keep waiting for Vegas to just kind of figure it out, and then they lose to Vancouver 5-1, and you get a little bit worried that they're not just going to figure it out. I am forever stunned at how it's gone in Vegas. And look, like, injuries are the main issue. I don't think they need to blow the team up or anything like that, but this is the most regular season adversity this franchise has had to handle in its existence. And it's crazy how it's all fallen off. And also, I would just like to state, for the fine folks out there who are upset with the Kucherov thing from the playoffs last year with the LTIR, and it's an unfair advantage. I think this can maybe quiet some of that, because they had to use some LTIR when they bring in Jack Eichel, and now all of a sudden the wheels have fallen off, and I think maybe it's a bit more difficult to win in this league when your top players are out. That seems like a bit of a thing. So I always thought it was a little bit crazy to say, hey, the Tampa Bay Lightning had an unfair advantage when they couldn't use Nikita Kucherov in the regular season. You know, that former Hart Trophy winner and one of the best players in the league. Yeah, they couldn't use him all regular season, and that was an unfair advantage because now they get to use him. Instead of maybe appreciating how fucking insane it was. Oh, by the way, we swear here. How insane it was that he wasn't needed for that team to make the playoffs. But yes, as Masonite says, not a lot of sympathy for the Vegas Golden Knights. And that's certainly not what I was going for. It's just like, I keep thinking, oh yeah, they'll figure it out. Like, I know right now they're a point out of a playoff spot, but they have 3 more games played than or at least more games played than anyone else around them. So why are we worried about I feel like it was gonna just figure itself out. And it's not just figuring itself out. They still have a positive goal differential, but Vancouver putting up 5 on them last night, and the Canucks are essentially done now in the West playoff race. That's not a game you can lose from a Vegas standpoint. I don't care who's hurt. Eichel isn't hurt. That should be enough to beat that Vancouver team that we've seen, like, they're not giving up on anything, but they shouldn't be beating you 5-1. Bruce, there they go, is an excellent clap back after Bruce, there it is, to start the season. Also, the rumors that Bruce Boudreau might be a one and done in Vancouver are hilarious. A, it would be the most Canucky thing ever if they actually did that, and B, there's no way they should actually do that. Now, I was the guy who said they shouldn't have fired Travis Green in the first place, so I'm a couple coaches behind on they're not going to do that, but they can't do that with Bruce Boudreau. They just can't. He has been a culture changer. He has been, I think, a game changer there for that franchise, and I think it would be absolute lunacy to not bring Bruce. Man, I forgot. After not having to do this for a few years, I forgot how difficult it was to speak at 6:45 in the morning. Bruce Boudreau. There's no way you let him go if you are the Vancouver Canucks. I think it's going to be an interesting offseason for Vancouver. You have a different GM, but the ownership's still the same. So I think the mantra is still going to be the same of this team has to be a playoff team every single year. And I'll be interested to see what they're able to do, because I think it's one of the weirder rosters in the NHL, because you have a team that has a lot of high-end players on it, with guys like Pettersson and guys like Hughes. Beau Horvath, I think, is one of those guys who every other team in the league would love to have a Beau Horvath as their captain. But then you have a couple just awful contracts, and it's such a mismanaged roster. Like, I don't know if there is any team in the league, maybe Edmonton, no, not even Edmonton. I don't know if there's any other team in the league that has such a disparity between, hey, this is our core group, and now this is the group that's been brought in to kind of supplement things for them. And yeah, he has made a world of difference there, Masonite. You are 100% correct in that. He has... he has been a culture changer. I think he has got the most out of a lot of those guys where there was some, there was some struggles there at the beginning. So, I think Vancouver is an interesting team this year. This offseason. We'll see what they are able to put together. As far as this West playoff race is concerned, I kept thinking that Vegas was going to come back, and I also kept thinking Nashville was eventually going to fall off. I did not see this coming from the Preds at all, and realistically I probably should have, because it's still a good team. I just thought it kind of fell off a bit last year. I don't love a lot of the contracts on there. Admittedly, I'm not a Duchesne guy, I'm not a Johansson guy, so I was just like, yep, they're done. That's it. It was very much confirmation bias for me, right? It was, I don't like how this team is really put together. I don't like some of the key pieces at the top. They had a bad season, and thusly, I'm going to say they're done. But good on them for coming back. Shout out Swift Lifestyles. Helping to energize and fuel and focus and all those other buzzwords. But all the credit in the world to Nashville. I think they're going to lose handily to either the Flames or the Avalanche in the first round of the playoffs, but good for Nashville for getting back there. The issue with a team like that, oh, what a goal. The issue with a team like that is, this is their upper bound limit, there is no going any higher than where the Preds are with this team right now. This is scratching and clawing to make the playoffs. And look, as Masonite has said, that the atmosphere in Nashville, the crowd in Nashville is amazing. if all the Preds get out of this is 2 extra home playoff games for ticket sales and merch sales and to show how great that fan base is, then that's fine. But long term, I just wonder what the plan is. Like, where is the improvement coming from on this roster? Mike Vernon getting a little sketchy in net there. But we're able to hold on for that. So I wonder where the upward progression is from Nashville. But I'm with Mason. I would love to see I'd love to see a hockey game in Nashville. I've never been. I would go see, like, Nashville, sneaky good sports town. I would love to see a Preds game there. That atmosphere seems like it's one of the best in the league. Oh, drilled him. Go, Johnny, go. Man, how good was Gaudreau last night? I mean, that's an evergreen one. That's one, if I was back at the station, you could just record that and play it every day. Man, how good was Johnny Gaudreau last night? And I know, like, the talk on here, and I'm sure that the talk over at my previous employer has been about, like, what that contract is going to look like. I am officially in let's wait and see and just enjoy the hell out of it now mode, because he has been a delight to watch all season long. And I don't think one of the things I am trying to do, given everything that's happened in the world, and admittedly a little bit to me personally, not that I'm the biggest victim of any COVID thing or anything like that, but losing a job that I've had for a decade, I'm choosing to try to look at the brighter side of things and not try to focus on oh man, what's it going to cost to keep him? How long is he going to stay? My focus now with him is just, you know what? Let's not worry about any of that stuff right now. Let's enjoy the hell out of this. And that's kind of been the thing that I've preached with this entire Flames team for basically since the Toffoli trade, is let yourself get crazy. And there were some times with this team and with the fan base where it was, man, this team's gonna be like, this is our year, this is it. We got Sean Monahan and Michael Backlund, etc. And look, you got playoff Sam Bennett. And I would sometimes think that people were a little bit overboard on their expectations for the Flames, but I don't think you can be with this group. I think this is, and we are seeing it on a night in, night out basis, this is a legitimate Stanley Cup contender. Are there still a couple of warts on this team that you kind of wish maybe had got figured out? Maybe, but this is I think a very well-built roster. I think this is a pretty complete team. One of the things I've said before, I like that they can kind of play any style. But the thing is, they've tried to be that team in the past, and just that's their identity. I like that there is an identity to fall back on when things are going crazy. It's the third period, you're down 1 in Smashville, the crowd's going nuts. Let's fall back on an identity. Let's fall back on, okay, this is the thing we do. Let's go to our default setting and just do that. They haven't had that for a long time. The default setting was, well, fuck, let's hope Johnny Gaudreau figures it out. And that was it. But now you have Daryl Sutter hockey to kind of fall back on, and I think that's going to help this team again when things get a little bit wild and crazy, because no one's going to have just a perfect 16-game run to the Stanley Cup and, oh boy, look at this, everything is fixed and everything is fine. There's going to be adversity along the way, and you kind of have to have a style and a setting to fall back to. The Flames have that now, but also, if you want to play a wild, fast-paced run-and-gun style, they can do that very comfortably. Ask the Edmonton Oilers a couple Saturday nights ago how that went in a 14-goal game against this team. I think that this is a group that can play any different style. And so my message to Flames fans, and I get it has been a very difficult most of your entire lives, but my message to you would be just enjoy the hell out of this, because I think there's going to be a pretty decent run with this team. If there isn't, worry about that at the time. Just enjoy how good this team has been playing, and if it's the last 11 games of Johnny Gaudreau, so be it. Enjoy those 11 games. Hopefully it's not, but just have fun with this, because it has, I'm not breaking any news to a lot of you, for a long time, aside for a couple of stretches, hasn't really sustained a real fun time as a Flames fan. So I'm hoping you all are enjoying this to the full potential of how you could possibly enjoy it. That was a weird way of saying it, but it's 7 in the goddamn morning, so, give me that one. Also last night, the Blues beat the crap out of the Kraken. That was definitely going to happen. Shout out Masonite, who gave it a hell of a run in the WrestleMania pick pool, but just fell one match short of Gino DiPaoli, who eventually won. But yeah, have a good one, Masonite. Appreciate you popping by for a little bit. I thought the Kraken thing was going to go a lot different than it has. We don't have to spend a lot of time on a team that's completely irrelevant now. But the team that, again, that whole Central Division is just interesting to me. Like, Colorado, I think, is when healthy, a fantastically built hockey team. And if they don't at least make the Western Conference Finals, then this is a disaster of a season. And they're a team where you wonder what's going to happen in the offseason if this year doesn't go a particular way. But then after that, like, I find the Blues to be an interesting team, because I kind of thought, well, maybe they'll trade Tarasenko and things will fall off, and now they're very realistically going to get to 100 points and start the postseason on the road as they're set up to play Minnesota. Another fascinating team for me, not just because we're playing them right now, but a very fascinating squad given some of the high-end talent that they have. They go out and make a big splash in goal, but you look at the Blues, I wasn't taking them seriously, and now when I look at the roster, I don't fully understand why I didn't take them seriously, because this is a team that I've still liked for a while, and especially this time of year, and then they break through and win the Cup in 18, and then since then it's been a little disappointing, but still they won a freaking Stanley Cup, and now really nothing has changed off of that roster, and then I thought, okay, well, now it's going to fall off. And again, I don't understand why I thought that, but this is a Blues team that definitely falls into, well, I don't want to play them in the first round category. And then you have, again, Nashville, who we've already discussed as a team that has exceeded every expectation I had of them this season. And they all just seem to play a certain style of hockey that, again, fits really well. I think the central side of the bracket is going to be... I think the central side of the bracket is going to be a really interesting one in the postseason this year.
Out front, here he is on the backhand. He was locked in there. Return will spark this lineup. He gets a shot on goal.
Mr. Terrifical with the you already rush out and get the Geo Flames jersey. I will say I'm really happy for him. It was definitely time for him to leave Calgary, and I didn't think that it was going to be a good move if the Flames were to bring him back, even though there might have been a need on the blue line. But I think Ontario dude getting to play for the Leafs on a silly good Toronto Maple Leafs team. Just happy for Mark Giordano. That's the message of the stream today. We're just happy for a lot of people, and we're happy that the Edmonton Oilers are in a weird spot, even though, I mean, they're playing pretty good hockey right now. I'm with you that I want good things to happen for Gio. We should all want a Toronto against Calgary Stanley Cup final to see what happens with a Mark Giordano. I'm sure I'm alone in that. Well, maybe not alone if Mr. Terrifical is rocking with a Leafs Flames combo as their favorite team. The amount of people that would be upset. Man, you thought people were upset that Boom and all them were off and Toronto radio was on out here. Just wait for Calgary fans to be upset at the Toronto coverage when it's the Leafs against the Flames in the Stanley Cup final. And Calgary's up like 3-1, and everyone's still talking about, hey, I know they're going to probably lose in 5, but could Austin Matthews still win the Conn Smythe? I think people would be a little frustrated by some of the coverage at times if that were to be the case. Although, I was going to say, I think sometimes it's overblown. It's not really overblown because the complaints about the coverage anyway. Oh, a 5-minute penalty. Fantastic. Because there's some times where it's like the coverage of the bottom parts of the order, or bottom parts of that team, are a little bit wonky and a little bit excessive. But this is still one of the best teams in the NHL. They play in the biggest city in Canada. You know they're going to get covered. I understand it's when they're shitty and they still get covered this way that it's infuriating. But, I mean, for now, this is a really good hockey team.
The Wild have taken possession along the wall.
Yeah, this is a you're right. This is just a long play for Boomer. I don't know what his contract situation is, but he's like, hey, If you guys think you could do better than me, let's listen to what the 590 guys have to say.
Three of them. Takes a shot, and the traffic neutralizes that threat, and they get the puck out.
I am stunned that they're just doing the 590 thing. I thought, like, and I mean, I don't know what they have depth-wise there right now for fill-in hosts or anything like that. I know about a year ago they trimmed it a little bit, but I was surprised that it was just shit. It was just we'll throw Toronto on. That one caught me off guard a little bit. Washington beat the Tampa Bay Lightning last night 4-3. I don't know what to make of Washington because I like Ovechkin. I like Backstrom. I like a lot of the pieces they have on that team. But I view them as firmly planted as the 8th best team in the Eastern Conference playoffs. Like, I don't know if there is a matchup that they could get into that I would be like, okay, well, this is the matchup that Washington wanted. Now I'm going to favor Washington. Like, I just think no matter who they play, I'm going to view Washington as a one and done in the playoffs. So that's a good win against Tampa Bay, who's slipping a little bit right now.
When there's one that stands out, it's a ex-Stanley Cup champion or the
voice is starting to go on me a little bit. So Washington's a team that definitely has my interest a little bit, as again, I think this year isn't going to go particularly far for them, and then we'll see what they do in the offseason. In terms of playoff matchups, I'm assuming this is a relatively Calgary-heavy chat for folks, although terrifical, I guess you can answer with both your Leafs and Flames thoughts. Who do you guys want to see as the first-round playoff matchup for the Flames? Right now, if the playoffs were to start today, it would be Nashville in the first round. Would that be an ideal first-round matchup for you? Other options are obviously the Dallas Stars, the Vegas Golden Knights. Probably not Vancouver. St. Louis probably isn't going to fall into that spot. It's kind of just down to Nashville, Dallas, and Vegas. If it were me, from a Flames perspective, Nashville would be the matchup that I would want. Maybe, I mean, Dallas would be pretty good as well. I view them as a team that's kind of on the decline a little bit, although this is a good year for them, still getting into the playoffs. But I would think Nashville would probably be the best option. I think that what Nashville, and this is something we've talked about before with this team, what Nashville does well, I think the Flames do weller. And I think they do the other, like, the things that Nashville doesn't do well, I think the Flames do well. I think Calgary is I said do at 7 in the morning. I think Calgary is a very complete team and a much more complete team than the Nashville Predators. The thing that I would worry about with Nashville, and it kind of goes back to, and I'm sure there's a much more recent reference for this than the one I'm going to use, but I go back to Nashville series against the Canucks in 2011, and it was, like, from a series standpoint, the Canucks were never in danger, but Nashville made them work. It eventually injured Hamhuis, and I think that's the reason why they fell just a little bit short against the Boston Bruins in the Stanley Cup. Nashville is going to be a team that I think you're going to remember having to play the Nashville Predators for as long as you're in the playoffs. If Calgary gets by Nashville, beats either Edmonton or LA in the Pacific Final, and then goes on to the Western Conference Final, I think you're going to be referencing, well, we got a little banged up in the Nashville series and is trying to play through it. I think you're going to be referencing that a lot. So that would be my concern with having to play the Preds. So maybe while I'm talking it out, I don't think you would have that same impact against the Dallas Stars team, and there would be a bit of retribution for the bubble and for them knocking you out. So while I've talked this out, I have changed my mind, and I would say Dallas. And oh, that was nice. Rendonu is the same with me. I want revenge on Dallas. I think that one, it plays out a couple of different ways. It's funny, I don't view Dallas as like a, you gotta get them type of a team, but then you think about it and, oh yeah, no, that's fair.
And you don't have to be reckless trying to get.
Yeah, Nashville, the more we talked it out, the more that's kind of a, like in basketball right now, no one wants to play the Raptors in the first round of the playoffs because of how hard they're going to make you work. I think Nashville will kind of be that same one where it's, you got to bring your lunch pail. It's going to be 5 or 6 games. There's going to be a point where the series is close and you're losing in Nashville and that crowd's going insane and you're going to question like everything about yourself and your hockey career. So, like, mentally, I think it'd be a bit of a grind as well. So, the more we've talked this out, and it's not like Dallas is going to be a walk in the park. It's a playoff team. But I don't think Dallas would be nearly as, oh, my God, we've been in a battle for 6 games, and now we have to play Edmonton. I think Dallas would be a much better one. So, I'm now with Randonu, or if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. It's early. I've officially shifted my pick to Dallas. I think it would be a grind against Nashville. Honestly, I think the best one in the first round, and this is going to frustrate a lot of Flames fans when it happens, or when it doesn't happen and it happens for a rival. I think the best one in the first round would be the Kings. I think they still are capable of playing hard, but again, I think if I were to rank all the teams in the postseason from the West perspective, I think LA is definitely number 8. You know, like I would put Dallas ahead of them. I would put the Preds ahead of them. There is no way that, like, unless Calgary really falls, unless they take my load management to heart and just sit Markstrom for the next 3 weeks and fall into that kind of a spot. Oh, what a comeback from Minnesota. If they fall into that spot, then maybe. But odds are it's going to be Edmonton against the Kings in the first round of the playoffs. And that's going to be very frustrating because I don't think that's going to be that type of a grind of a series for Edmonton or for the Kings, for that matter. Like, I think no matter who the Flames play, they would much rather have played one of the teams that's below them in the Pacific Division than that matchup from the Central, because of, as we talked about before, that heavy style of play from the Central Division when playoff time comes around. But I think this is a Flames team that's set up, I think, better to play in the postseason and to play against some of those tougher teams. Like, you can roll 4 lines now pretty comfortably, and when you are at home anyway, I think there's like a ton of easy matches against the Preds. It's not like they have 3 lines that beat you up and then a 4th line that's just like, oh, okay, well, you guys get a shift off. But I think at home, because of your ability to roll 4 lines and some of the versatility you have in those lines, I think that the Flames are set up much better now. Like, they are a very deep team when you haven't been able to say that for a while. I am very fascinated at what Johnny Gaudreau looks like this year in the playoffs, because I think you have put him now in a much better spot to succeed this postseason than he has been in the past, given who his center iceman is now. But there's a lot of pressure on that whole line, right? Like, for me, the focus has been Gaudreau, playoff failure-wise. Matthew Tkachuk is not immune, I guess, to that criticism. He hasn't been one who has stepped up in the postseason, and I think he gets a bit of a pass because he plays a style that we think, it'll figure itself out. But there we go, 12 seconds left, Noah Hannafin. Game winner, I hope. But I think that's a line that definitely needs to prove it come playoff time.
You gotta have a little mole in you here. You gotta dig and dig and dig to get the puck back. Excellent retrieval here on the effort.
This is gonna be a big win. Big win, boys. Big win.
To create a chance, and then it's in the net. This is really a
baseball trade. Taylor Rogers to San Diego for Chris Paddock. I like that deal for San Diego a lot. Yeah. Yes, as everyone makes the comparison, that was very Michael Stone-esque. But how cool was that last night? I don't know if there are some people who are just like popping in now. How cool was that last night? Dude's 500th game, gets his first of the year, and it ends up being a very important goal. Just happy for the guy. As Masonite said, the best number 7 defenseman in the league. Happy for the dude last night to be able to get that done.
It's like the old song goes.
Oh, the COVID voice is coming back to me. Good thing I got my Swift Lifestyles here. Cheap plugs.
Your team goes into a game you almost know you're going to
That's
win.
the thing with Stone. Say what you want about, like, foot speed, defensive ability, all that. The dude's got a cannon. I was going to say the dude's got a hammer on him, but that means different things to different people. Dude's got a cannon for a shot, and yeah, you couldn't have walked that thing up and placed it into a better spot. And at that velocity, he hit the hell out of that thing. So that's he's a guy who, like, he doesn't play a ton and all of that, but to hear that was his first of the year last year was a bit surprising because he has such a booming shot back there. You'd think a few more of those would have been able to maybe squeak in under the bar at times. Oh, look at that team. First place, starting to pull ahead of Edmonton now. It's a beautiful thing. I don't really want to play Minnesota again. Just do a quick sim of this one and then get on to Montreal. Yeah, Brian McGrattan down in Stockton, killing it with the ice time. Killing it with the ice time. A lot of teams going with the... like a couple teams experimenting with a 5-forward look. Mr. Terrifical wants to go a different way. Let's go 3 defensemen out there. I know that's maybe not exactly what you're suggesting, but I think that would be... I don't know why that made me think of that, but I think that would be a fun one out on the blue. Like, just have Hannafin, Stone, and Anderson lined up 3 along the blue line, and just like Gaudreau and Tkachuk just sliding them back, firing one-timers away. That is the one thing that I would have some... I don't want to say concerns about, because again, things are going well. Oh no, Reggie! But power play could get going at any time now for the Flames, and I think that would be all right. Like, it's hit a bit of a dry spell right now, and honestly and truthfully, I can't for the life of me figure out why. You look at the talent that is out there on that power play, and another one gets added with Tyler Toffoli earlier this year. You look at this team and you look at the firepower. That's something that I think actually needs to get figured out here before the postseason gets going, because while it might just seem like just a dry spell or whatever for the team now, that doesn't get easier when the playoffs come around. Like, that's not something that it's, oh, the playoffs are here, well, now we'll be able to figure out how to score the puck a lot easier. That doesn't necessarily work out that way. I think that Calgary kind of needs to get that power play going a little bit more. They flashed it up, what was it, 2 for their last 15? It's not a fatal flaw or anything like that. Gotta go classic jerseys for this one, by the way. It's not a fatal flaw, and it's not going to be devastating to their playoff chances, but goals are difficult to come by in the postseason, and when you have one extra guy on the ice compared to your opponent, that seems like a pretty good opportunity to get one of their goals. So I think the power play, because you only get a few of them compared to what you normally get in the regular season, I think the power play becomes that much more important come playoff time to be able to capitalize and take advantage of some of your opportunities. And this power play, I think, needs to get going. It will, though, right? Like, that's not... I don't have any, well, they need to change this, aside from our idea of 3 defensemen lined up on the blue line just hammering away one-timers the whole time. It's just kind of the talent will figure itself out, right? Oh, I like that we're flashing the Flames Cup banners in a matchup against an all-time Montreal team today. That's the one thing I said before, if you will allow me some video game talk for a second. I wish, like, it's cool to see, like, Kent Nielsen playing in 4K and on a, I get this isn't actually 4K for me, but it's cool to see, like, Kent Nielsen playing in a, like, professional broadcast and stuff like that, and Lanny McDonald out there with bright lights and all the 2022 features that arenas would have, even though this arena is older than dirt. But I kind of wish with some of the all-time teams there was at least an option to have this feel a little bit more like a 1980s style of matchup. Because Calgary against Montreal with a modern feel doesn't have the same, ooh, here we go, big time, as it maybe would if there was a bit of like an 80s feel to this barn and there was dingy smoke in the air from everyone taking 20 years off of their lives in the stands and all of those things.
Here's a short pass to Beliveau.
Oh boy. So this all-time Montreal team is going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty tough to beat. Very tough to beat.
When we were talking to the coach this morning, he said on the road his team has
looking at what else happened in the National Hockey League last night. Detroit a win over the Jets. Wonder what the Jets are going to do. Like, there's a few teams this offseason who are in the what you going to do category. If we're looking at any team that could use a real good bounce of a lottery ball to shake things up, I think Shane Wright in Winnipeg would be very welcome. I think the league wouldn't love it. I think they're probably pretty good with the amount of star power that's in Canada right now. I don't think there's a main focus in the league. Hey, how can we get things going in Winnipeg? That'll help us turn things around. But I think they could use a bit of a boost of star power out in Winnipeg. Assuming that doesn't happen, I thought they had a really weird deadline. Like, they added a couple of guys, but then they traded Andrew Kopp, and the Rangers had a great deadline, I thought, for it. But I wonder what the Jets are going to look like come next season. There was some talk, maybe, of Scheifele being moved. I always kind of raise an eyebrow a little bit. I'm not saying people are just flat out lying, but as we get closer to the deadline, when guys who are going to be on TV for hours on hours for the day and have a lot riding on you watching them being on TV for hours and hours of the day, and then all of a sudden a star player's name gets floated out, seemingly out of nowhere, like, hey, I know we're only a couple of days away from the trade deadline that you could watch here for 8 hours on Canadian Sports Network X, but I'm hearing Mark Scheifele might be available. I always wonder about, like, how available are they? Or are you just, like, has that been a name that's been floated in a, hey, should we trade Scheifele? Nah. But you can say, hey, his name has come up in trade talks. And now we can say that and more people are going to watch us. I don't know. That's the conspiracy theory part of me. Why do I suck at dumping the puck in so much? I mean, it ended up working out here, but god damn. Yeah, I always wonder about those ones. But Winnipeg has a few decisions to make, I think, because I think they have kind of, again, reached the upper bound limits of where this roster can take them, and I don't know where better is coming from for this team. They've had an excellent run for a while now, but I think it might be time to maybe hit a bit of a reset button while some of the players that they have still have some value trade market-wise. Oh, yeah, this Montreal team is good. For Detroit, I think next year is a big year for them. Like, this year, they're obviously going to finish out of the playoffs. They're 20 points out of a playoff spot. I think they want it to be a little bit closer at this point. I think next year, while Yzerman has done a very good job, I think, of making a few smart deals and getting some guys in there, I really think that next year has to kind of be, they at least have to be on the in the hunt page, like they have on the NFL playoff broadcast. On Hockey Ones, we don't necessarily have that. They just show all the standings. But this is a team that has to be playing meaningful hockey this time of year next year, I think, given how long it's been now into this version of this rebuild. I think this is a team that needs to take that next step now with some of the high-end players that they've been able to acquire. If they get the ping pong balls bouncing their way, I think this is a potentially dangerous team, because it does kind of seem like they're not that far away talent-wise. I get points-wise, they're quite a bit away. But I don't think they're that far away talent-wise from some of the other teams in the Eastern Conference. And we talk about, like, potentially Washington falling off. Eventually, I think Pittsburgh is going to fall off. I think Detroit has the opportunity, more than any other the other teams that are missing out on the playoffs this year. Like, you look at the other teams that are missing this year in the East. The Islanders, I think, like, they had a great run here, but I think they're taking a couple of steps back. I think it's going to get a little bit worse in Columbus before it gets better. Buffalo kind of starting over again with the Eichel trade. Ottawa, I think Ottawa has actually a pretty good opportunity, like it's them in Detroit, for bursting into the playoff scene next year. But I think, like, again, it's going to be worse before it gets better in Philadelphia. The Devils, I thought this was going to be a big step forward here, and the fact that it wasn't is really eye-opening. Montreal, I don't think it's going to be a long retooling process in Montreal, but I think they're a year-ish away. And Philadelphia, did we talk about them already? Yeah, worse before it gets better in Philadelphia. So I think Detroit's actually in a pretty good spot for when some of these Eastern teams maybe fall off a little bit.
He made a great, accurate pass and picks up the assist thanks to his tape-to-tape superstar abilities. His teammates just love when he distributes the puck like that, guys.
From the neutral zone now.
All right.
Winding down the final minute of this opening.
Can't be losing to Montreal on home ice here. Although this all-time Montreal team is stupid good.
Takes the feed. Sent into the offensive zone. Along the
Get there, Lanny.
for the puck back and forth.
I always hate it when they pin guys up in that little corner where my camera is set up. We already covered Vegas against Vancouver from last night. Tonight in the NHL, oh, look at that. The Canucks are playing again in Arizona. I know it is very commonplace for Canadian hockey media personalities to suggest that Arizona shouldn't have a hockey team. And I try to sometimes stay away from that. Arizona shouldn't have a hockey team anymore. That arena that they are going to play in, I'm going back to Assiniboia tomorrow, actually. They just closed down their old rink. And they're getting a new one for next season. I am almost willing to bet that new arena in Assiniboia is going to be nicer and a better setup NHL arena than what Arizona is putting out there next season. It is what's happened in Arizona over its entire existence has been embarrassing, and that team just needs to go. So that's my hot take on an Arizona team that is dog shit, and the Canucks will probably lose to them tonight because that's just how they do. They beat pretty good teams and then fall on their face against the bad ones. Oh, go, Iggy. Damn you, Larry Robinson, and your aggressive back check. Love all the guys without buckets in this. That's beauty. Oh, Mike Vernon flashing it. I think I should have started Kiprusoff for this game. That's fine. Also tonight, Nashville against Ottawa. Gave my Nashville take already.
And that's not to side with the stick by McInnes.
Ottawa going through a lot right now with the owner passing away.
Sends it across the ice.
I think Ottawa, like, they've talked quite a bit about how, like, this is the last trade deadline that we're going to be sellers and all of those sorts of things. But I do think Ottawa is kind of right there. So that's going to be one that, like, for scoreboard watching purposes for the Flames, you're not worried about, like, who could potentially catch the Flames. Oh, what a goal. You're not worried about who could potentially catch the Flames. You're worried now about that playoff positioning. And like we talked about before, from a Flames perspective, I'd much rather see Dallas than I would Nashville. So, in my opinion, from a Flames standpoint, let's go Sens tonight. Knock them down. Is Dallas playing tonight? Oh, Dallas against Toronto. So, Mr. Terrifical now. We got a bit of a conundrum here because we want to see Flames against Dallas, but I think you would want to see a Toronto Maple Leaf win as they are still battling for playoff positioning. Also, we talk about wanting to exercise demons. I think Toronto should want to play Boston in the first round. I think Toronto is a much better team than Boston is this year. And this is their best chance. And also, if they don't do it this year, then I think major changes have to happen. But we've said that about Toronto for forever. You guys are here because there's Toronto happening on the radio anyway, so we don't have to get too much into the Leafs. But I think that we are, aside from Mr. Terrifical here, who is a Leaf fan, I think we're cheering against the Leafs tonight. Get Dallas that win, leapfrog over the Nashville Predators, and set up a Dallas versus Calgary playoff matchup. potential playoff preview on Sportsnet 1 tonight with Edmonton taking on the LA Kings. Speaking of teams I kept expecting to fall off, I just kept waiting for the Kings to fall off, and I thought even of the two California teams that were second and third in the Pacific for a bit, I thought it was going to be the Kings that were going to fall off, and it was going to be Anaheim that was going to do it because of how well Zegras was playing. That clearly did not work out that way. This is a sneaky good Kings team. I don't think I'm giving them enough credit because I think they are the weakest of the 8 playoff teams in the Western Conference, but still pretty good. Like they still have, as much as we love to hate them, they still have guys like Drew Doughty, and they still have guys like Kopitar, and they have some of those young kids who can just go flying around. They're a sneaky tough team, and I'll be interested to see how they handle a matchup against an Edmonton team that we will begrudgingly admit is playing some pretty good hockey right now. It's a pretty good Edmonton team. And I look forward to all the people claiming bias when Austin Matthews wins the Hart Trophy and Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl.
Dumps it in. Montreal's got a hold of it against the wall. The Canadians look to start the transition game.
There we go. Gotta cut that off. Happy we're winning all of a sudden now. That was unexpected. I was a little bit worried. Look, it's important to get pucks in deep, boys, especially when you're on the rush.
Montreal's looking to break out of their own end and tries to make a diagonal pass to Carbonneau.
Shesterkin is an interesting one. I think it has to go, like, if you score 60, I think there should be some kind of recognition of that. Like, I get the rest of the Leafs team is really good, and I get that, like, they're going to finish second in their division and all of that. I think Huberdeau needs to get maybe a little more look in this discussion than he's received. But if you score 60, I think it should go to Matthews. The guys in Edmonton are great. I think Johnny Gaudreau should get some consideration for it, for sure. Same goes for Huberdeau. Excuse me, sorry. The old COVID throat coming back. So yeah, I think those guys should get it, but right now my vote would be for Austin Matthews. But this is kind of a year where their A hasn't been like that, oh wow, this guy's definitely it. And also there's been a lot of like, this team is doing a little bit better than I thought, and a lot of it is because of this one individual. Look at the Rangers goalie situation, or Johnny Gaudreau, or even like a lot of people talking about Roman Josi in the last little bit with how good Nashville's been playing. So I think there's a few. I think one thing, and this is, you don't vote based off of this. I think that we're going to look back at some of these years and be amazed that Connor McDavid didn't win more Hart trophies, you know? Like, I think we're going to look back on his career like, wait, McDavid only won 2 or 3? There's no way. He was the best player in the league. I think that narrative is going to creep in at some point. I don't think it does this year. Again, 60. 60 is a lot of goals to score in the National Hockey League. So I think that 60 is going to be enough to get Austin Matthews the Hart Trophy, if he gets to it. Like, it's not a lock that he's going to get there. Although again, from a Flame, oh no, we want Toronto to lose tonight. So I was going to say from a Flames perspective, we want 4, but we need a Dallas Stars victory this evening. Oh, there we go. Nice little shorty. Also on the schedule tonight, Pittsburgh against the Rangers. This is just a perception thing. It's obviously not the case. It feels like Pittsburgh has exclusively played the Rangers since the beginning of February. Like, it seems like whenever I turn the TV on, Pittsburgh's either playing Colorado or New York. And look, I'll take it. And that would be, I think, like, best case scenario first round is Pittsburgh New York series. I think it'd be a bit of a bummer that both of them would be, or that one of them would be knocked out in the first round, but I think ESPN would love for their first postseason to have Sidney Crosby on Broadway I think that's a pretty easy sell now that they're definitely not going to get a New York playoff team in basketball. Well, sorry, a regular New York team in basketball. Brooklyn, I think, gets out of the play-in. But I think they would love to have the New York ratings for the New York Rangers. And one of the, to me, absolute surprises this season has been the play of the New York Rangers. I hated how they went about the offseason. I thought they were so close to like putting something really special together, and then I thought they were blowing it, and now I love how this team is put together. I have completely changed how I feel about the New York Rangers. And this is one of my, I don't want to say flaws, but definitely something I've noticed about myself. I like it when big market teams do well. Like it's always fun when you get the plucky underdogs and stuff like that. I like it when, like, Madison Square Garden is involved. I like it when the Bruins are involved and a Chicago is involved. Now, I don't like the team, but I like it when the big markets are involved, and I like it when the Rangers are good, you know? So I'm happy to see that. We're definitely not Luke Fox fans here. That is fair, yes. We stand for people who hate Luke Fox. Luke Fox? Yeah. Adam Fox. Luke Fox is the writer for Sportsnet. We are indifferent to the Sportsnet writer. I'm sure he's a wonderful guy. Adam Fox is the one that we want. Yeah. Just an absolute drive-by of the writer for Sportsnet. Speaking of the Rangers, fuck that dude who covers Toronto. But hey, I bought it. I fell for it. Not fell for it, but you know what I mean.
Continue to chase the game, and really, it's kind of a miracle, James, that they're in it. They don't have any shots on goal.
Yeah, he's kind of like, I mean, one of a bunch, but he does quite a few Toronto beat things, I think. Philadelphia taking on Columbus. I even think friends and family of players in that game are probably going to take that one off. Buffalo taking on Carolina. The Hurricanes again lose Dougie Hamilton and just keep on trucking forward. Maybe not quite as likable as times in the past, but they're man, they're a good hockey team. Like that forward group is just so complete, and the blue line, even without Dougie Hamilton, like they got a lot less likable by getting rid of Hamilton, and I shouldn't say getting rid of, losing Hamilton, and gaining a Tony DeAngelo. Oh, Al McInnes, I think he put that through the goalie. They definitely got a lot less likable, but they're still a very good hockey team. I don't want to say favorites in the East yet. They're a team that I am now at the point with Carolina. I need to see it. I need to see you be great. I need to see you. Oh, perfect placement. Oh, did you just whiff at that? Sweet. I'll take it. I need to see you in the Eastern Conference Final for me to believe that you can get there. Same with Florida. You know, like Florida against Washington in the first round's an interesting matchup. But like Florida against Tampa Bay, I get there's a point differential. I'm still taking Tampa Bay. And maybe I shouldn't be going off of past experience, but I need to see it from these teams at this time of year, specifically with hockey, right? Like baseball, it changes a bit. Football, not a ton. Basketball, it changes a bit, but with hockey, it is a different sport. Playoff time. Playoff hockey is substantially different, I think, to regular season hockey. And because of that, there is a bit more of a, I need to see you in it, and I need to see you do it before I can believe that you are fully going to take that next step. And Carolina is now in that spot for me. They got the right coach. I think they got the right players. They just, everything is there, except they haven't been able to get it done at the toughest time of year. And they've run into a juggernaut of the Tampa Bay Lightning. But They're a team that I need to see it from this year. Kraken against Chicago, that no one cares. Toronto, Dallas, we've already talked about. Flames taking on San Jose tonight. The Flames kryptonite. Can they finally get past this San Jose Sharks team that has inexplicably been the banana peel that they have slipped on the Mario Kart track so far this year? Now, they're going to slip on that banana peel and still find themselves in first place. But still, it's just, again, it's not a fatal flaw that they lose to San Jose. If the Flames get knocked out in the first round, we're not going to be like, oh, well, it's because they didn't build momentum against the Sharks. But it's a weird quirk to the season that they haven't been able to play well against San Jose this year. I would imagine we get Darth Vader in goal tonight. Again, I know that's not how you say his name, but it's fun for me. I would imagine that, as we talked about at the beginning. I don't know how many of you have stuck around for the full 1 hour and 2 minutes that we've been going so far, but I wonder now about load management with Markstrom. So I certainly am not playing him in a back-to-back this late in the season with first in the division seemingly wrapped up. I would not to the point where like Johnny is sitting or Kachuk is sitting or any of those guys, but I would start to integrate more and more of the bench as this goes along. I imagine we get Yarncroc back in the lineup tonight. My assumption is, coming off of a non-COVID related illness, that they didn't want to just throw him in back-to-back. So I would guess he checks back in tonight, as it sounded like he could have gone last night. And I think you just see more flexibility from the Flames in terms of who's playing and who isn't on a night-in, night-out basis as this team tries to get ready for the playoffs. That's at least what I would do. I don't know if that's what Daryl would do necessarily. Like I said before, I don't know if load management is necessarily in the vocabulary of one Daryl Sutter. Almost called him Daryl Sador. That would have been inaccurate. Oh, hey, trying to get an Al McInnes bomb away here. What a game this has been. Talking through it, holy crap. Little all-time Flames, all-time Montreal action. Looking great.
For these guys. Yeah, fans of both teams will really look forward to that matchup. It's
just a quick reset for those of you who are seeing me on here for the first time and listening to me for the first time in about a year. I do this Twitch thing rather regularly here. At least every Tuesday, Thursday with this all-time Flame squad, mixing in some wrestling. Hoping to mix in the new baseball game eventually as well. And I have a podcast, Couch Potato Diary, comes out Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Link to it is on my Twitch page here. And it's also on my Twitter bio and everything like that. Yeah, talking all sports. Obviously, as we're coming up on the postseason, going to be a heavy focus on that. We have a Masters preview with Adam Stanley right now. A couple good picks as we're a couple hours away from the Masters teeing off. And I'm realizing now I didn't get my bets in time, and probably not going to be if I'm going to be doing this till 10, so that's a bit of a bummer. So when Corey Connors wins the tournament, I'm going to blame my financial misfortune on that. But we got a good preview with Adam Stanley up right now, and then baseball preview, just me rambling on. American League preview was Monday. National League preview was yesterday, along with World Series picks. So if you are here because there's a certain show that isn't on right now, and you're wondering, hey, what happened to that guy who didn't watch movies that we heard for less than a year on the morning show? That's what I'm doing now. As we close out a victory here over a very good Montreal team, but one that's just not on our level right now.
Possession so key in today's game. Nice job tying up his opponent.
Mahavlich. I've said it on here before with this all-time Flames team, and it's not just because of the video game. I noticed this when I was staying at home during the first part of the pandemic, and they had me doing This Day in Flames history research for a thing. They said, oh yeah, we'll get this going in October, and then in April they were like, oh, we want it now. And it's fitting that he just scored there. Kent Nielsen is the most underrated Flame in the history of the franchise. You look at how many different records, like Johnny Gaudreau, I think, for multi-goal games, is flirting with a Kent Nielsen record. Goals in a game, oh hey, it's Kent Nielsen. Goals in a season, Kent Nielsen's up there like 4 times. He doesn't get, I think, the credit for being such a goddamn baller on those Flames teams. back in the day. And, like, the guys who do get the credit for it very much deserve it. Like, I'm not saying, why do we talk about Lanny so much when Kent Nielsen was there? Because Lanny, heart and soul guy, very, very good. All of those things. But I think when we talk about that era of the Calgary Flames, we need to talk more about Kent Nielsen. And that is absolutely a Flames history hill that I'm willing to die on. Yeah, I bet you guys, when you tuned into this, didn't think you'd be getting hot Kent Nielsen takes at 7:41 in the morning, did you? Don't know why I got so aggressive about that. A lot of you probably agree with me. I like that they do this in the video game after. Look at this, Al McInnes. Bang. What do we got for 3 stars from this game? Kent Nielsen, of course. The game was threatened by my speech there. Man, 8 goals and 24 shots. That's a pretty good day at the office, I'd say. Faceoffs could use some work. Oh, Barrett Jackman. What a beauty. Big trade. Great GM work by me to get that done. What a highlight. Into the open. Really glad they chose that highlight to use. And your first star, Gary Suter. What a day for defensemen. And a great day for Canada in general. But yeah, we're coming off of I think a good Flames win last night. I think that this is like, the Ducks are a team that have fallen off a little bit, and I think, like, all the talk about they're a team playing out the schedule, so they're just trying to have a little bit of fun with the Zegras, Beagle, whatever conversation. I think people are kind of overlooking how good the Anaheim Ducks have been in that conversation. This is a legitimately good hockey team, I think, that the Flames beat last night. And when you look at where a lot of the production came from, obviously that top line was really, really good. But I think the thing that gives you the most, I think, reason to be optimistic about this Flames team right now is that it does seem like a complete effort at this point, right? Like, the top line is doing its thing. And I'm not saying the top line and the fourth line are completely equal, but the top line is obviously carrying a lot of the water, but it's not just a one-line team now. Like, this is one of those ones we would talk about back in the day. Not a lot of passengers on this train right now. Everyone is... God, I'm using way too many cliches back to back here. But everyone's kind of pulling the rope in the same direction right now. And that is another part of this Flames team that has me feeling a little bit better about where they are at going into the postseason. If, and I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if the struggles of one Jonathan Hockey and Matthew Tkachuk continue into the postseason this time, I think that there is now enough depth behind them that they can kind of figure it out. You know, like, okay, the top line's not going, but we got Backlund, Coleman, and Mangiapane, which is a perfect playoff line. That can be kind of the top line. And then, oh, look at this. The next one. We have Toffoli and Dubé and centerman X. At Yarncroc, I guess. We got this line that can do some stuff. And man, if Dylan Dubé could just get it going. Like, you see him on the burst on that 2-on-1 last night. And it's like there's still a very good player in there, I think. That this has been an obvious down year for Dubé, clearly. But I still think there's something there. And boy, he could use a real good playoff run right now. But anyway, after that, there's a fourth line with, again, the thrown together guys. With the dude who they just traded for, whose name I'm blanking on it, Carpenter, I think, right? With him and, like, Lucic and either Lewis or Richardson or Richie or whoever. Like, I'm not saying, look, if things are going bad, we can rely on Brett Ritchie and Milan Lucic and everything will be fine. I'm not saying that, but it just seems like this is a team that is now built for a good postseason run. More so than they have been in the past. And I think that has to make you feel very good as a Flames fan. That this is going to be different than the last time Calgary played this team that we are seeing now in the playoffs, where they finished first in the West, and the playoff run was done by the time I got back from Mexico. I remember watching the first game of that series and the Mangiapane goal in Mexico. and then like trying to get like clips and everything, and it was like, it's fine. Like, I'll miss the first couple of games of the postseason and it'll be all right. And then like the ATV hadn't finished crashing by the time Calgary's playoff run was done. It was wild. I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think Calgary has built this roster really, really well. And if it does happen again, oh boy, those are going to be some conversations in the offseason. But I don't think that's certainly something you shouldn't be worrying about right now anyway, from a Flames fan perspective. As we talked about at the start of this stream, this is a time to just enjoy this. I don't think I'm talking too much shit when I say Flames fans' existence hasn't been perfect over the last little while. That there hasn't been a whole lot to get this excited about, so let yourself get this excited about this team.
Yeah, I hate it when I miss chances like this, James. You don't get many that are this.
I just assume everyone knows the ATV crash story at this point. But if I'm if I had a better camera, I would show you. I still have some like scratches that I think are just permanent now, because it's been 3 years from sending that ATV off a cliff in the Mexican jungle 3 years ago now, which is crazy that it was 3 years. It was like 3 years ago this week, actually, that happened, which is mind-boggling how that could be 3 years ago when it just feels like yesterday. I was hiding my wounds from my then fiance as we were off on various bachelor and bachelorette parties in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Oh, we fighting? Oh, we're fighting. Uwe Krupp and Lanny McDonald. Oh, this is the greatest moment of my life. Oh, look at this. Lanny just feeding him. It is 7:48 in the morning, but Uwe Krupp is deciding to have a knuckle sandwich for breakfast. Oh, what a win. We're going to clip that. Probably loses its effect in the clip when I say I'm going to clip that, but still.
Each to their own bench to sit for 5 minutes. I hope he can get a drink of water. Last time in there,
yeah,
the bottle was
hope he can get a drink of water and get used to liquids, because that's all you're getting for the next few months. Boom! Broken jaw jokes.
You don't miss a thing, do you?
Sandis Ozolinsh. Oh, with some of these other ones for people who are tuning into the stream for the first time, with some of these other streams that we've done, we like to do. Oh, there's Pavel Bure, another great acquisition by your fearless general manager. But when Gino's watching in the afternoons, we like to watch, I guess, later in the morning. We like to have the random NHLer of the day, and we got a couple good ones on this Avalanche team. There hasn't been a lot so far with Minnesota and with Montreal, because Minnesota, they were all just like kind of current guys, and with Montreal, everyone on there is a legend. And while this Colorado team is certainly not lacking for legends, Sandis Ozolinsh and Uwe Krupp are pretty good candidates, along with Milan Hajduk, pretty good candidates for your random NHLer of the day. What an era of hockey that was. And what a run Colorado's had for like generational all-time team talent. When you can put McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog out with Tanguay, Sakic, Forsberg, Ozolinsh, Foote. We talked about like not shedding a lot of tears for Golden Knights fans. Not a lot of tears shed if Colorado doesn't make it to the Cup final again this year in their talks of disappointment. This has been a relatively blessed franchise since they came into the league. Like, they had that bit of a down period, but that down period led to McKinnon, Duchesne, Landeskog, and Rantanen. And then, like, the only down period was, oh, Matt Duchesne wants a trade because the team's been so bad. And then they traded him and just unlocked a new level of greatness. Yeah, they raided fucking Bork for a bit. So no, we're not feeling bad for Colorado because of the lack of playoff success. Remember when Colorado and the Flames were in the same division? I'm now that guy. Like, I used to always chuckle, oh, it's an old Campbell division or Smythe division or whatever the fuck they called those back in the day for no good reason. Oh, it's an old one of those matchups, is it? Okay, yeah. Tell me about hockey in black and white. And now I'm that dude. Like, oh, hey, look at this. It's an old Northwest Division matchup with the Flames and the Avalanche. We had another one earlier with the Flames and the Minnesota Wild. And I sit people down and talk about the days where the Flames weren't in the same division as the... Oh, we're fighting. You can't run over Johnny Gaudreau. Well, I said fight. I wanted to fight. Why are we not fighting? But yeah, sit down and talk to the children about the days of the Northwest Division where the Flames had to deal with the most boring team in all of hockey, the Minnesota Wild, like 18 times a year, and have to curse the name of Wes Walls and Marion Gaborik and Manny Fernandez, while also having to play a high-powered Colorado Avalanche team and a sneaky, really good Vancouver Canuck team back in the day as well. That Northwest Division was a battle, dude. And that is my completely unnecessary soapbox of the day. Another thing that you guys might notice on this, I think Joe Sakic's wearing number 20. You notice Lanny McDonald, he's going to be dropping the gloves here in a second, wearing number 90. Why are we not fighting? Thank you. Whew, this is a good one. It's because I didn't hit the right setting, and retired jerseys still count. So even though it's the guy who's the reason the jersey is retired, can't be rocking a number 12 with face planted him. Lanny McDonald is on a roll tonight. But you have to use different numbers even if it's the guy whose jersey is retired. So Wayne Gretzky, I think, is number 98 in this game. Now we have to go number 90 for Lanny, and we have to rock the 24 for Jerome McGinley. This is where the Flames not having a whole lot of jersey numbers retired has actually played into our favor, because we only had to make adjustments on one or two guys, which again is stupid that I can use Theo Fleury's number on this because his number should be retired at the Saddle Dome, but still, it helped us out in this. And also Pavel Bure, have a night. Just dominating the Colorado Avalanche. Question for the chat. I think Colorado is the best team in the league, and I feel pretty comfortable with that. If you could make a bet, either it's for a Stanley Cup bet. I either give you Colorado or I give you the field. So you either get one team or 15 teams to win the Stanley Cup. Are you taking Colorado or are you taking the field? I think Colorado is the best team. I think I still take the field there because there's a lot of good teams out there. And look, I'm kind of, if I'm taking Colorado, I'm going against the thing that I just talked about where I need to see it from you. And while I love this Avalanche team and how they are constructed, we haven't seen it in the postseason. That's why I like Minnesota going out and trying to get better. I like St. Louis staying competitive. I like Calgary going out and making their team better. Because while Colorado seems like they're still head and shoulders above everyone, they have not done it in the playoffs. And let Minnesota be their banana peel. Let St. Louis be their banana peel and try to take advantage of it. So this is, to me, a make-or-break year for Colorado. If it doesn't happen this year, I'm not saying, well, trade McKinnon then, but I don't know what they do if it doesn't get to where this thing should get to this year. So I think if we were to do my hypothetical bet of Colorado v. the field, I think I would take the field. The field also has Tampa Bay. Man, the way they re-signed Kadri is, I don't think they re-signed Kadri. That's gonna be a big contract, and as great as, oh yeah, the Habs are gonna go insane for him. As great as Kadri has been this season, I think whoever signs Nazem Kadri is going to be regretting that contract in a year or two. And it's not even that sorry. It's not even that Kadri is that good of a player, or that is, I think, going to be that bad or anything like that. It's that he is, and we see this with a few contracts, he has a ceiling to him. And if you pay him above, if you give him a big contract, all of a sudden that takes away part of the effectiveness of having a Nazem Kadri kind of playing over his head a little bit. Now, instead of, oh man, Nazem Kadri's been a great bonus, now it's a, we are relying on him. And I don't think he is a, we are relying on him type of a guy. So I think whoever signs him to that contract this offseason, in a couple of years, is going to find themselves on a worst contracts in the NHL list. Because I think that one's going to be a big mistake. And I like Kadri as a player. I would rather him on my team than not on my team. But I think that dollar figure is going to come in at a number that is going to be detrimental to another team's salary cap situation. And that's even with the salary cap going up by $1 million this season. So I don't think they re-signed Nazem Kadri, and I think they tried to fill that void elsewhere. Even though he's been a great Avalanche, and I think if he can stay not suspended. Oh, Mike Vernon coming up big.
Really good work. I like this chance here as they get the puck into a scoring spot. Goalie's just better on this time.
Yeah, you could potentially be having to overspend a little bit due to inflation on Nazem Kadri there for sure. I think he's going to have a good playoff, and that dollar figure is going to go crazy, and he's going to be signed to a team, and you're going to have old school analysts falling over themselves talking about how this is a type of player that you win with, and yeah, it's a little bit overpaid at $9 million a year, but you can't pay money for intangibles. Those geeks are going to tell you that the number, and then in 2 years it's going to be like, hey, could you attach a first-round pick to Kadri and trade him? I think that contract is going to be the biggest mistake a GM makes this offseason. And again, it's not because I hate Kadri. It's just because I think that there is a certain dollar figure that if you exceed that with him, you have now lost all value of that player and are now getting into it's detrimental to your team. So watch the Flames sign him next year as a replacement to Matthew Tkachuk. I'm kidding. Probably. Yeah, Montreal seems like the lock to sign him right now. I could see if he has a big playoff, I could see like Detroit going out and making that move as kind of their we're one move away. Let's go out and get this guy. Although Steve Yzerman's one of the smartest GMs in the league, so maybe not. Oh man, we are annihilating Colorado here. I'm not even paying that close of attention to the sound and thorough ass kicking that we're doing.
Capitalizes, gets on the board. These are fun goals to score. You read that the goaltenders drop.
Just a quick one, because I know we're talking hockey today. I like that Rogers trade for San Diego. I think Paddock is good for the Twins, but I don't think it's great. And like talked about on my my season preview, out now on Couch Potato Diary. The Padres needed a guy at the back end of their bullpen, and I think Rogers can help with that. I think that's a really, really good trade and a really good, smart bit of general managership at the start of the regular season here for San Diego. Oh, Claude Lemieux. Talk about overvalued guys because of postseason performances. That was always the name that I hate when it would get brought up when we would have the does clutch really exist or not conversations. And hey, look, Claude Lemieux couldn't do anything in the regular season, but now does it in the postseason. That shows you that he's clutch. That doesn't show you that he's clutch. It shows you that he plays the style of play that works in the playoffs. That doesn't necessarily work in the regular season. Yeah, that's supermodel stuff there, though. That's what that is.
Still a lot of time left in the period as we approach the
Darcy Kemper, that picture looked like he was being held hostage.
A lot more of that offense to get back into this one.
And Mike Vernon just looked good as he always does.
The two centers tie up. Takes it right in the chest.
Is there any other kind of mullet aside from a classy one? I think not.
The Flames take it across the line. Drives it to the crease.
Oh, Darcy Kemper robbery. Robbery.
Goodrow's among the league leaders in plus minus. I got to be honest with you, James. This was
that plus minus tally is just all Flames.
Officials getting ready to drop the puck to get play back underway.
It's the one thing. I can dominate in these games. I have some issues in the old face-off, Doc. But look at that. Win and the loss. All about the effort from, again, the most underrated Flame of all time, Kent Nielsen.
Takes the feed at the back end.
Uh-oh.
Broken up by Goulet. The
Goulet.
have the puck in the open ice. Big time stop. Vernon's sharp to make that stop. Takes it
Go,
across the
Lanny.
blue line.
Oh. Just directly to the head. How dare you? Lanny exhausted from kicking the shit out of 2 Avalanche players today.
Takes the feed. Poked away by Hannafin. And he's going after him here. Comes up with the
Yes,
stop.
we're fighting.
They're gonna go.
Kent Nielsen and Adam Foote. What a game this is. Just fight after fight after fight.
You expect that somebody's
That
coming
old-time
after you,
hacking.
and here they come.
Oh, drilled him.
Oh, and down to the ice he goes.
Down.
That's
Goes.
the end of that
What?
spirited bout.
Was the spirit about Ray Ferraro? Thank you.
There's not been much that's gone right for them tonight. They're getting blown out here, and maybe this fight can spark a little energy. It's just trying to get
I don't think the fight's going to spark a little
That's
energy,
about it.
Ray Ferraro. I kicked the shit out of him.
A wild couple of minutes there, and things have finally cooled down as both
Look at that
teams
top
will
line, though,
settle
for
into the
Colorado.
face-off.
Rantanen, Sakic, McKinnon. Good grief.
The frozen biscuits dropped, and we are back underway here. Along the wing up the neutral zone. Moves it to Rantanen.
Another part of the Flames conversation, talking about underrated things. I don't think, like, there's obviously been some great goaltending performances this year. I think Markstrom needs to be talked about more when we talk about award things. And maybe I'm just, like, I'm looking in the wrong spots, and I'm not in it every day, and I'm just doing podcast stuff now. Not just doing podcast stuff. It's an excellent podcast. You should listen to it, Couch Potato Diary. I feel like there needs to be more talk around Markstrom. The guy's going to have, like, close to double-digit shutouts this year on a team that's going to finish first in their division. I just don't think he's getting enough credit for how really good he has been, and I think there's just a lot of, oh, it's a Darryl Sutter team, how good is he yet to be, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. There's been a lot of nights he's been the best Flame out there, and that's saying something because the team's been playing good. But I just feel like Markstrom needs to start getting more credit for some of the stuff he was doing, because there's been some stretches. I think a lot of times people just think, oh, goalie stealing a win or goalie winning a game for a team is he made 75 saves, like it's the Thatcher Demko for the Canucks a couple of years ago in the bubble when Vegas did everything but score and Vancouver would win 1-0 getting outshot by 40. But I think for Markstrom, the thing that he does is there's like a couple of moments each game where the other team kind of gets on a roll. And Lubo and I would have these talks, and I miss having those talks with Lou. I still could. I definitely need to talk to Lou more. That's a me problem. But we would talk about how, like, no matter how good a team is and no matter how bad another team is, 99% of games, each team gets a run. You know, like there's a bit of a stretch where that team just has control for whatever reason in the game. That is their time to have that control. And so many times when it's the Flames' opportunity, I guess, for lack of a better term, or it's the Flames' turn to be on the back foot and have the other team pressing at them, he is such a calming influence in there. And last night, like, I think Calgary was in control for a lot of that game, except there were some times where they weren't. And Anaheim was pressing, and Anaheim had a couple of opportunities, and Markstrom was just there. And it's not flopping around and diving and making crazy, unbelievable saves, and I think that is part of what helps it too. He calms the waters so well, and he is able to make those big saves at big times so well. And then, yeah, he comes up with some big shutouts. And there are some games this year where they don't win if he doesn't have just a perfect game. And I think he needs to get he needs to get much more of the conversation and much more talk, I think, about the Vezina. I'm not going to go so far as to say give him heart votes, because if you're going to give heart votes to someone on the Calgary Flames, it's Johnny Gaudreau. It's not Markstrom, but Markstrom needs to be, I think, more in the Vezina conversation. And yeah, Mr. I'm with you. The goalie duo thing is fine if you have to, but boy, it's nice to not have to. You know, like it makes it more difficult for radio hosts, because that was easy content for the last few years. Like, all right, Who's starting tonight? Vesa Toskala or Yanni Ortio? Let's open up the text line and talk about it for 45 minutes. And people would. Every day. It was like you could just lock it in as part of the game day topics. All right, who's in net tonight? Who would you go with? Mike Smith, Elliott, It was easy content, but now it's easy coaching because you can just be like, yeah, we're gonna put this guy in every night. And I think we're at the point now where that shouldn't be the case. Oh, big save Dave! Everyone loves big save Dave. Ninth winningest goal in history. We looked that up on here one day. Oh, Johnny. Oh, we got to get Johnny a hat-trick in this game now. But yeah, it's like, I don't think it's a coincidence that you get the #1 goalie this team has been craving for a long time. And hey, look at that, they're in first place. You know, like, how different would this season be if you were trying to figure out who the hot goalie was each night? That has to be exhausting for a coach, too. Like, coaches got a lot of shit to figure out. Got a lot of game planning to do. Got a lot of just everything to do. I'd rather not have my brain capacity being taken up by trying to figure out which one of my league average goalies is going to suck less tonight. Also, shout out, we talked about him earlier, shout out Gino DePaoli, who's entered the chat. Gino, we talked about you before with, we had a couple of tough ones for the random NHLer of the game. Minnesota didn't have a lot on there, and Montreal's team is just fucking stacked. So there wasn't a whole lot there either. Colorado's got a couple of good ones. We got a Sandis Ozolinsh spotting, and spotting's a weird way of saying that. Sighting is the more accurate way of saying it. We got a Sandis Ozolinsh sighting and a Uwe Krupp sighting. So we got a couple of good ones for random NHLer of the day. And I would say the bronze medalist for this right now, Milan Hajduk. So it's an all Avalanche podium for the random NHLer of the day so far. But yeah, like I just, from a coaching standpoint, like there's no Kamensky in this. Kamensky, I think, is on their AHL team, maybe. If I'm a coach, I don't want to be worrying about which one of my goalies is going to suck less tonight. I want to be focused on my game plan for shutting down McKinnon and Rantanen and Landeskog. So I think from a coach's standpoint, and just you only have so many hours in the day to think about shit. It's nice to just not have to think about, okay, who's it going to be tonight? Instead of, should we give him a night off? Yeah, let's give him a night off. Like, that is the extent of the goalie conversation here for the last couple of years, and that has to be very reassuring from a coaching standpoint. Oh, man, Uwe Krupp Blackhawks card. That's a good one. Yeah, triple OT Krupp. The only triple Uwe Krupp got in this game was triple of Landon McDonald's punches to his face. I fought Uwe Krupp, is what I'm saying. Oh, what a dangle, but what a save. Mike Vernon. I still have my Swift Lifestyles drink, so I don't need a coffee, thank you. Oh, no, I'm not doing a ginger shot right now. God. We're all about health in this household right now. And one of the things is ginger shots to help with your gut health or some shit. And it burns my whole face every day when we have to do one. So no, I'm not going to do one in front of the fine folks on Twitch right now.
And now he passes it to Forsberg.
Yeah, should be sorry. Oh, Mike Vernon with the chaos around him, standing tall. I gotta get Kipper in for the next one.
You make a good shot, you just get beaten by the goaltender. I'd say that's one that you put in that category. Here's a shot, blocked aside. Vernon's skill.
I don't know why we had to give a bit of a drive-by to Logan Gordon on the chat there, but I know you're kidding. Or I'm kidding. Yeah, that's the thing that if I could like magic wand to fix this for the Flames right now, special teams in general, power play has hit a bit of a wall. And like I said before, that doesn't get easier in the playoffs. You don't, okay, yeah, the power play's hit a bit of a rut, but it's going to be easier to score in the Stanley Cup playoffs, so we'll be fine. And yeah, penalty kill giving up a couple of looks as well. I would worry, personally, I worry more about the power play than the penalty kill right now for the Flames, but special teams in general, I think could get a bit of a look. The thing is, I don't know how you change it necessarily, like, unless you go with our made-up scenario before. Michael Stone, power play specialist, 3 defensemen, 2 forwards out there. I don't think you need to drastically change the power play all that much, and I don't know if you need to have a wild change on the penalty kill that much either. But definitely not a couple of areas you want to be struggling in going into a postseason matchup, either against Dallas or against Nashville in round number 1. Johnny Gaudreau hat trick. Johnny's having a good game, but Johnny's getting the crap kicked out of him in this one as well. Oh, that was a great saucer feed to a bad spot, but a great feed.
The Avs will play the puck from behind the net. Here they come inside the neutral zone. Jabs the puck away.
Yeah, like I said before, my main message to Flames fans at the start of the season, or at the start of this stream, was just enjoy this, because this is the best Flames team we have seen in a very long time, and the team that has the best chance to do something special in a long time, so just enjoy it. That does not mean they are a team without flaw, and that does not mean that they are a team that we can just like, everything's going to be fine, because they have the best top line in the NHL right now. Oh no, Cale Makar, I'm so sorry. I think special teams has to be a concern, and we talked about it before. You don't get as many opportunities in the postseason, but I think that makes having good special teams that much more important. If you're only giving up 2 chances, but you're giving up a goal on one of those 2 chances, it just makes life that much more difficult. We talked about this earlier, Gino, actually. You would rather Nashville. You are unique in that opinion on here. I think at least the people who were chatting, came to the consensus that Dallas was the team we would rather face. I just feel like with Nashville, I know it's a different team, but I went back to that 2011 series that they had with the Canucks where it was the second round. I think the Canucks won it in 5. From a series standpoint, it was never, oh my god, Nashville's going to pull this off. But Dan Hamhuis wasn't the same after that. Ryan Kessler wasn't the same after that. And I think that series is a big reason why the Boston Bruins went on to win the Stanley Cup and not the Vancouver Canucks. And I just feel like if you play Nashville in the first round, you probably beat them. But I think when you play Edmonton or the Kings in the next round, if you get by that, Colorado or Minnesota or whoever in the Western Conference Final, you're going to be talking about, yeah, this team's going well, but player X hasn't really been the same since Game 3 against the Nashville Predators. You know, I feel like that's a series that you carry with you the rest of the way, where with the Dallas Stars, good hockey team, don't get me wrong, good hockey team, have a couple of guys, they're not going to not hit you, but I just feel like it's not as physically demanding of a series as a Nashville Predators series might end up being. So I would much rather take on Dallas personally. And also, from a Flames fan standpoint, there's a bit of revenge. Like I said, when I think of teams that the Flames need to get revenge on, Dallas doesn't immediately come to mind. I would say Colorado even before I would say Dallas. But there was the bubble exit a couple of years ago. That would probably be a nice one to get back. Oh, it's a hat trick for Pavel Bure. Let's get that top line out there now. Maybe get Johnny Gaudreau a hat trick with 18 seconds left.
You feel so good about yourself.
I think if you were to rank it like 1 through 8, and obviously that's not how they do it now with the division format, but I think the most ideal playoff candidate in the first round is the LA Kings, and I know fans out here aren't going to want to hear that because that's likely the matchup for the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. But I feel like the Kings are a year or two away from being that, oh shit, don't want to face them in the postseason team. I think this year it's the, oh yeah, we'll gladly face them in the first round. Oh, who doesn't love them some Rick Bonus? Big win. Big win. All-time Flames team is cruising right now.
He's so good when
Also, that arena's really nice in Dallas.
And he was lights out tonight.
Although, I'm sure, like, for the people covering it, and if there are people traveling this time, getting to go to either Nashville or Dallas seems like a pretty good win. You know, that's going to be a bit of a culture shock if you're traveling with the team and you go, okay, 6-game series in the first round. God, look at that hair on Claude Lemieux. 6-game series in the first round. Hanging out in Nashville for a few days. This is great. Second round, where are we going? Edmonton. Shit. Okay, well, I guess there's that. And then watch it be Minnesota in the third round. I think all the East cities are pretty good playoff-wise. Is there one that's like a bit of a dud? Washington, Tampa Bay, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh! I mean, it'd be good hockey, but I don't know if anyone's going like, oh man, can't wait to spend 7 days in Pittsburgh. We're going to keep ticket prices the same, because I don't care. I don't need to market. Some of this stuff's a bit too in-depth. I don't know. If they took season ticket pricing out of this game, how many people do you really think would be like, oh shit, well I'm not buying it now. I can't set my season ticket prices. It worked like, for baseball games, it's fine. Because there's no salary cap in baseball. So it's like, I set ticket prices, I get X amount of dollars to spend to build a juggernaut Toronto Blue Jays baseball team. On this, the amount of season tickets that I sell doesn't mean shit for the salary cap. Oh no, Itu Tuola. I forgot how hard it is to talk at this time of day. I just think it's an unnecessary feature. Alright, we're going to go reverse retro here. And now... that would be a thing. If you could build rinks in this game, that would be pretty sweet. I guess you can with the expansion teams. Yes! Oh, let's go. What a beautiful, beautiful matchup this is going to be all of a sudden. Look at that Mike Gartner picture. Dueling mustaches on here. I feel like I should go shave my mustache off now, out of respect to the mustaches that are on our screen right now. I'm going to cover up my mustache with a water bottle. No Curran Center in Grand Prairie. It's also no new rink in Assiniboia, Saskatchewan, I'll tell you that. Public skating to shut down the old one. Brand new barn coming up in Assiniboia, Saskatchewan this fall. Everyone's very excited. Going to be there tomorrow. Not at the ring. Although that'd be fun if I could weasel my way into a tour of the new building.
The Capitals start with possession as we are now underway.
Excuse me, do you know who I am? I'm the most famous podcast host in the history of Assiniboia, Saskatchewan.
Newendykes and a challenge being thrown down here.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Early in the game,
I don't know why you got to bring that up. My wife off mic was just like, what if that's not true? That's hurtful, okay? What's crazy, not crazy, I consider myself relatively successful, especially coming from a small town. I maybe make the podium for famous people from my high school graduating class. That was a weird way of saying graduating. Because I guess she didn't graduate with us, but she was in school with us enough that I consider Miranda like part of our thing. And she went to the Paralympics. And Style was in Deadpool. So, like, of all the... oh my god. Of all the classes that I could have been a part of, and all the classes that have come out of Assiniboia that I would have been the most famous person from, and I get the one where I'm in third. So unfair. What are the odds?
Oh, and that's got the crowd buzzing after that stop.
Oh, go Johnny, go. Go, Johnny. No, can't do it. Can't do it.
Washington's got the puck in their
Am I reading that right, Gino? You've put your expansion team in Grand Prairie? Can you even do that in this game? That's wicked.
Play in the defensive zone. Sends a pass over.
On the last NHL game, I had the Tokyo Tokyos. I need to try an expansion team here again. Oh, come on. I don't like admitting I don't know things a lot. I have no idea who that Marlick guy is that just got the puck for Washington. If that's offensive to anyone, I apologize. Oh, Johnny Gaudreau just got robbed. It has to be Olaf, some guy that's the point with 100,000 views. Look, I'm sure there's one guy who's on like a deep, dark part of like right-wing Reddit from Assiniboia who has 100,000 followers, so that might be true.
Ready to get that significant other in your life, or maybe that child who's been waiting all their lives to get that first jersey? Team Store's got you covered. Visit them online.
The Crystal Center. That'd be a great name for a place.
Still scoreless in this one. Calgary's got the puck along the boards. Through center. Whacks it into the offensive zone.
Oh, it's Holtby. I was really hoping that it would be Olaf Kolzig. Oh, right. I traded back one of these guys to get Dmitry Orlov, who I traded to get Barrett Jackman, because I'm an excellent general manager. Oh, no. Okay. Mika Kiprasov in goal is not going to let that happen.
Moves the puck. Calgary's got it along the wall. The Capitals scoop it up along the boards. Gets a hold of the puck from the right side.
Cool. That's a bit of travel.
And that's hooked away.
That would be obviously it's the NHL, so it wouldn't be. That'd be quite the bus ride, though. That'd be quite the bus trip out there. I know you're on your way to work and driving, and now I'm asking you to text. But can we get an AJHL playoff update from Gino DePaoli while we look at Peter freaking Bondra out there? Very good candidate for random NHLer of the day. Don't think it passes. It definitely passes Hayduk for top 3. Don't think we're beating Sandis Ozolinsh though. But Bondra's a solid one.
And they'll be forced to start all over again outside the offensive end. Great hustle to come up with the puck.
GP Storm, what a team.
Hangs onto the puck.
With their logo that every team that's ever been called the Storm or whatever have used. This random clip art thing that everyone happens to use. Oh man, we're losing to Washington. Evgeny Kuznetsov.
He's just so accurate from that.
He's good. I don't think he's ever reached the level that I thought he would. I guess he was good on that cup run.
He can do some damage when he gets in tight to the net like that.
So that's probably unfair of me to say, that I don't think he's reached the level that he should have reached. When you're, you know, a top 3 or 4 player on a Stanley Cup winning team, you've probably done pretty well for yourself. I could say, okay, we have a winner. We have a winner for Random NHLer of the Day, because Joey Juneau just popped up on my television screen at 8:24 in the morning on this April 7th in the year of our hockey gods, 2022.
The Flames gain possession along the wall. Sends it ahead to McDonald. Calgary's got possession here in the neutral zone. Picked up along the boards by Oshie.
It's weird seeing the current Washington Capitals in these random retro ones.
Receives the pass. Scores! Right on the doorstep. He pounces on the rebound and puts it home. Late goings of this period. The Capitals have all the momentum right
nice Christopher Stieg signing in the Wild. All right, so Brooks against Okotoks and Spruce Grove against Drayton Valley. See, we talked about Okotoks against Brooks once again. It's happening. Have they? I've been out of the loop the last couple of weeks or so, so I apologize that these are dumb, basic questions. Have we started our the South Final yet, or are we still waiting for Game 1 here? As Jerome McGinley with a bit of an angle.
I can't tell where it's going.
Angle.
The backhander beats the goaltender.
What a finish. What a play.
His big rig superstar ability is that strength.
What big rig superstar ability?
Driving it toward the net. No one was able to defend that play, and he finishes it off by lighting
We get going tomorrow. Are you going to be well enough to be able to call those kind, sir? This is my way of asking how you're doing. Because I'm day 11 from my first COVID symptoms, and I sound a little bit phlegmy right now, but aside from that, feeling good.
The Capitals gain control of the puck.
First game since coming back. Okay, good. Then you'll be good to go.
Here's a short pass to Iginla. Takes the feed. Some good stick work to force that turnover. Drifts it and whips it. Answers the call with a big save. And with the buzzer, that puts the
I'm the only one here who has tested positive, and it's like we don't live in a closet, but this place isn't big enough to just isolate away. So it is wild that I tested positive and my wife, who is right here, didn't test positive. Nope. Tried to wave, couldn't get there. I got short arm. My hands are so small.
Opening face-off for period number 2, about set to go.
Oh, what a top line. Ovechkin, Kuznetsov, Peter Bondra. Sergei, I haven't given enough credit to Sergei Gonchar for our random NHLer of the day. But I think he was just a good NHLer.
Got lots of tricks up his sleeve, but he tries there to get around the defender, just can't quite.
Oh, right in the ankle.
And that shot gets caught in traffic.
There's Johnny. Man, we've talked about it a couple of times today. How good was he last night? Like, we've seen him play really good hockey. This is the best he's been in his career. And I'm not, again, super hot takery at 8:27 in the morning. But this is the best he has been in his NHL career. It is just a joy to watch him play on a nightly basis. And, like, I know that maybe there have been, like, some seasons where there have been, like, higher highs. But he hasn't consistently been this good, I don't think, at any point in his career. I really, really don't. And it's great timing for him because it's a contract year, and I think having the line mates that he has had certainly helps in that. But, yeah, I can't say enough about how good Johnny Gaudreau has been. Oh, yeah, the mute function on this microphone, while it bit me to start this because I spent the first 5 minutes talking to no one because I had the mic muted, the mute feature on this mic has definitely helped your guys' ears today as I've been still coughing up a bit of the old phlegmy phlegm in this.
Slides it across to Ovechkin. And he slides it quickly to Carlson.
Oh, Peter Bondra just got dealt with. Al McInnes taking him down.
Got the puck in the defensive end.
I'm sure someone's put together the roster of just like 2000s NHL, but I would love like that, like basically the NHL and ABC ESPN era, the first one, not now, of the NHL. I want that all on the game, including, as much as I love James Cebulski, Gary Thorne on the call, because that and a Bob Cole. Just let me relive my childhood in a video game is what I'm asking for.
Nice job tying up his opponent. And that's offside, stopping the play. And both centers glide into the dot as a face-off set to resume.
It is, like, I feel bad for Monahan because all this talk this year about, man, look at how he's playing with these new line mates, and look if they've unlocked da-da-da-da. And Monahan's just there, plugging away on the fourth line, can barely walk because all of his hips are broken. And I feel kind of bad for him, but man, it is crazy to watch Gaudreau's development with, like, a really, really quality line of guys to play with. And credit the Flames for building a roster around that, where it's not, okay, well, we have one good line and hopefully everything else works out, to go out, get Yarncroc, get Toffoli, and fill out the rest of that roster has been a really good job. And shout out Mr. Terrifical with the glow puck reference. Always love the NHL on Fox. I'm more of a MLB on Fox guy. The old Fox Saturday Baseball right after This Week in Baseball, which, by the way, needs to be brought back. don't need MLB this week. This Week in Baseball, I think, would be a great ad in a time where we're trying to grow the sport of baseball, grow these guys as stars. I think we need This Week in Baseball back. I don't think Monahan retires. Maybe it's an LTIR situation. I don't think he plays with the Flames again. I will certainly say that. Retire seems a bit much. Like, I get a bunch of hip surgeries, seems like a lot to come back from. It's 2022. People have come back from a lot. And, like, science has kind of taken some advancements. I'm not saying just go out and get 2 hip surgeries, you'll be fine. There's definitely going to be an impact on him. But I don't think he retired. I would be surprised if he retired. It seems bad, though, when you list off all the injuries he's had and he has played through. And I think there's certainly a conversation to be had about the benefit of playing through it. Like, I get there for your teammates and wanting to win with the team and lose with the team and on and on and on and on and on. But I think we need to have a conversation about, hey, maybe it would have been fine if you didn't try to play through those things. Because as much as I admire the toughness, and I don't want it to seem like I'm belittling what Monahan has gone through from a health standpoint or anything like that, as much as I admire the toughness, there were long stretches in important games over the last few years where he was a liability to the Flames. And it's great that he tried to play through it, and it's great that he wanted to help the team, but he wasn't helping the team. I think, in fact, he was doing the opposite. And I think, again, this year, that played out. And now you see, he shut it down, and I'm not saying the team is better for it, but the team's fine without him. And I think there's a couple of years where if he would have just, like, if they would have just told him, hey, you can't do this anymore. You can't play through this. We appreciate what you're trying to do, but you're not helping. Go get this fixed and go get this figured out. Maybe it saves a couple of years' worth of these injuries. So again, admire the toughness. Greatly admire the toughness. But I think it, in the long haul, it did substantially more harm than the minimal good that it may have done. And, like, reputation-wise, I think, too. You know, like, I think the Flames, for a couple of years now, have tried to trade Monahan, and you can't because at the most important time of year, he's not doing anything, and whether it's he can't play that style of hockey, which I don't think is entirely inaccurate, or it's because he's injured, either way, it hasn't helped out his value to the team, whether it was an on-the-ice thing, or now, when the team is trying to move that contract out. Oh, what a play. Gary Roberts will not be denied until he's denied by the goalie. I want Iafrate to score just so we get a picture of Al Iafrate up on here.
Calgary's got possession while undermanned. Beautiful read in the defensive end by Iafrate.
There we go now. Oh, thought I had a chance there. Wilson, train tracks.
The Flames gain possession. From the defensive zone, they move the puck around. Strong use of the body. Puts it in deep.
Oh, if I were him, I 100% would be Scrooge McDucking the $36 million that he's made. Oh yeah, if that's a different conversation. If it were me, you'd never see me again. 2 hip surgeries and I got $36 million? You can kiss the whitest part on my ass. I am getting all the way out of there and retiring to a beach that you've never heard of before. Yeah, no, if it's me, I'm gone. I just don't think Monahan is the same. I think he's going to want to try to play that out, and whether that's with the Flames or not, we'll see. I don't know what you could get back for him. I think you are probably at a point where you're either taking back someone's problem or attaching draft capital to that, and I think at this point, the draft, I would attach a bit of draft capital to that contract to make it go away. And again, it feels so disrespectful to say that about another person. It's like, I would give up things that are valuable to me to get rid of you. Like that just feels like a shitty thing to say. But, I mean, Rogers gave up X amount of dollars to get rid of me, so it happens. I almost just full-on just announced what my severance package was on Twitch. But, yeah. Oh, what a giveaway. Oh, Theo. But I think the salary cap space at this point is worth it. And especially with the offseason that the Flames are going to need to have with Gaudreau and all the other contracts that they need to get done. Having an extra $6 million would be a little beneficial right now. Oh, if they could turn Sean Monahan into Jake DeBrusk, then they need to name the GM of the Year trophy after Brad Treliving. I am all in on acquiring a Jake DeBrusk. I think that Boston should, like, not bend over backwards. He's not a superstar. But I think when you look at the shot he has, and at his best, the style of play that he can play, like, he can be a potential game changer, I think, in the most important time of year. I don't know if he is, like... I certainly don't think he is best player on a championship team, but I think he is one of the top contributors on a championship team. I would, regardless of Monahan, I would try to get Jake DeBrusk this year, or this offseason for the Flames, depending on what else you have around. I think he's relatively cheap still, and I think he can be extremely productive for it. I think teams should be falling over themselves to try to get Jake DeBrusk. He is high on my list of guys who I would try to get, who are available, of course. Like, I would also fall over myself to try to get Connor McDavid. I think one is a bit more available than the other one is. Although if Edmonton flames out in the first round this year, which, holy shit, how great would that be? Then I wonder if there's maybe some questions being asked by Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers.
We got the third period coming at you in moments.
I definitely could have muted my mic there as I was drinking Swift Lifestyles. Go to swiftlifestyles.ca right now and use the promo code PrimetimePK for an extra 15% off of your order. I'm drinking the green apple. It's amazing. Some of these things, it's like, and this is way more commercially than I thought. Some of these things, like, it doesn't work, whatever. Legitimately, this has powered me through this morning, and I feel no jitters or anything like that. Like, I legitimately would recommend this if you're looking for some kind of a drink that'll help you focus and wake you up a little bit. But yeah, I'm big on DeBrusk. That's one thing, like, looking at the Oilers, one thing that a show that I was actually thinking of doing for Couch Potato Diary, again, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and some bonus episodes when I get a golf guest to talk on a Tuesday. Man, could you imagine a McDavid trade? I don't even know what that would look like. Like, how many draft picks are you allowed to trade? It would be for that many.
The Flames play it along the board.
But I would like to look at what team, like, obviously every team wants to win, and I think a lot of them would tell you that they need to win. But some teams, Al McInnes. Bomb. Clipping that. Some teams need to win more than others. Like, for example, I think this postseason is substantially more important for the Edmonton Oilers than it is for the Florida Panthers. Just say, not that it's not important for Florida, but I think there are teams that need to win this year more than some others. I think Colorado needs to win. I think Edmonton, I don't know if they need to win at all, but they need to win something. Connor McDavid can't play 5 or 6 playoff games this season. It needs to be a double-digit number.
These are frustrating. You don't get many chances like this. I thought he made a good shot with the goalie.
I'm sure he would. I don't think the Oilers, if they trade McDavid, it's not going to be because they want to. It's going to be they have to / he wants them to, sort of a thing. So no, I agree. Like, they're not going to do this willingly. But I think that if the Kings upset the apple cart and they knock the Oilers out in like 5 or 6 or 7, if they knock the Oilers out, I really do wonder if McDavid says, okay, enough is enough. That this has been, I've been the best player in the league for several years now. No one's recognizing me for the Hart. which I don't think he cares too much about, but B, this team is going nowhere and has continued to go nowhere for a while. I wonder if he asks out. And at that point, what do you do? If you're Edmonton, I think a lot of us would like to say we'd be strong and be like, no, fuck you, you're staying. But that doesn't happen in 2022. Now, kind of does in hockey. Like, Vlad Tarasenko wanted out of St. Louis, and here he is, still playing with St. Louis. So it definitely happens, but not at that level and not with that kind of media scrutiny. So I'd be very interested to see what happens, and that's why I think like Edmonton is right at the top of the list of teams that need to have a good playoff run. I think Edmonton, Colorado, and Toronto are the teams that I think really desperately need. Colorado, I think, needs to win the Cup. Toronto and Edmonton need to win, I think, series. In Toronto, just because of how things have gone, I think one series win would probably suffice. But I think realistically, like a series or two needs to be done in Toronto for, I think, giant changes not to be made. Other than that, like Minnesota, I don't think needs it. They're getting close to needs a territory. St. Louis definitely doesn't. They have their cup. Calgary is definitely up there because this is the best season they've had in like 30 years. And you have the contract situation that they have coming up this offseason. So they're definitely up there. They are most certainly up there in terms of this team needs to win it this year, or needs to at least make some noise. And I think, like, quite frankly, and not that any other city is any different, but I think that this city could use a good Flames run. You know, I think there's a lot of bars on 17th Avenue that really could use a good month or two of an old Red Mile, you know? But that's the same everywhere. You know, like, I don't think it's going to make a huge impact if the Florida Panthers make the Cup final or not on the businesses in Sunshine, but you know what I mean. Oh, come on, McGillney. Get a step. Ah, dang. Ah, Gino did not win the $70 million. I forgot to get a ticket for that. That's my bad. I don't believe we won. Nope. I do think they require a ticket.
Through the neutral zone now, picking up steam. Gets the puck in deep.
Oh, Unicorn would be good. That's one I want. Like, 17th is going to be crazy for however long a Flames run lasts. Mister, you work for the Unicorn? But I would be interested what Steven Ave would look like during a Flames run. I think that would be kind of a nice, like, overflow spot.
Calgary's taken a playbook out of the Ray Ferraro School of Hockey here. Just be aggressive, goal after goal.
Man, when you score, go get another one. You've got the other team down, go get more. Because you make yourself feel better, you build your own confidence, and you put this thing on cruise. That's
the thing, like, when I think of, oh man, the, like, 17th Ave is going to be bumping. Where should I go? I don't know, just 17th Ave. Like, there isn't, all due respect to there's a lot of good ones out there. Maybe that's the reason why there isn't a, oh man, I can't wait to go to Bar X. It's just like, I can't wait to go to that place, like that street. Yes, definitely remember Flame Central. And honestly, thought there was potential there. Like, I understand the Flames just wanting their marketing on a thing that has like concerts and stuff like that. I think what's definitely missing around the Dome is like a really strong pre and post game spot. You know, like, you go watch a game in you go watch a game in, like, Toronto, and, like, that whole area around, there's a bunch of different sports bars to go to, and it's great. When you go to a Flames game, like, there's a couple bars that are there, but they're not even, like, that sportsy. So it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to go to the casino then after this game. Like, it just, unless you're going to Dutton's, there isn't a whole lot in that area. That's something that needs to be improved when, and I do mean when, we eventually get this arena thing figured out. I have no idea what the Flames bar in Airdrie was.
Drives it to the crease. Hammers it on net. Big save by the goaltender. Knocked
Oh, no.
away. Puck picked up by Ovechkin. And the puck clears the zone.
Oh, probably.
The
My wife was from there.
Flames
Kim,
control the puck
was there a
against the
Flames
wall.
bar in Olds?
Well, a challenge being laid
The
here.
Flames Lounge.
Ovechkin's ready to go.
All right, so can confirm there was a Flames Lounge in Olds.
And that's knocked aside with the stick by McInnes.
Oh, randomly placed on the corner of the two main streets. Hottest bar in town.
Skates to the crease. Here's a short pass to Green. Calgary's trying to make something happen in the offensive zone.
This is where I get in trouble playing this because I am way too focused on getting Al McInnes a big bomb.
The save and putting out
That being said, like there are worse ways to spend your power play.
the Flames gain possession along the wall.
Oh, Theo was right
Picked
there.
up along the boards by Fleury. Made the stop on the play. Quick feed to Ovechkin. Through the middle of the ice, they enter the attacking zone. Here they come on the attack.
Yeah, I had no idea places other than Calgary had a Flames bar. Also, like, I think that, like, as I was saying before, yeah, Kim's from Olds. Gino. Who's asking? I think there was potential with Flame Central, and I really think a Flames type of a thing after would be, or before would be a really good thing. I thought, like, I thought that they could have made that the official home for road games and stuff like that instead of just a relatively small-ish concert venue. Which, don't get me wrong, the city needs all the concert venues it can get, but... Oh, there it is. Duty. Power play putting this game away. Not a lot of bars to watch the game from in Assiniboia. The Bar B is not. Yeah, that's not a place to... I don't even know if they have a TV there.
Really impressive display.
Yeah, Steakhouse has like 2 TVs, but they very rarely put the sound on. One day, Mike and I, we got the bar people to put Monday Night Raw on with the sound at the bar. That was pretty fantastic. Yeah. Gino is saying that Olds has one of the best fiber optic internet networks in North America. Huh? Little House of Wireless.
That's a good save. I mean, they worked it around to get it into that spot for that one-timer. But the goalie beat him there.
Moves it quickly over to Newendike.
Well, he's probably been to Olds a bit for AJ games.
The old double dip makes this a fantastic night for you. You know it's your night. You're feeling it. And now he's got 2.
Oh, really?
He doesn't need too many chances to score. That's one of the reasons he leads his team in goals. He's got a great finish when he gets the opportunity.
The Flames have really been strutting their offensive.
So I'm going to mute myself for a second, folks.
I really have. They can put it on cruise control now. A large lead here in the third period.
Handles it along the blue line. Shuts him down.
Kiprusoff's goaltending at one end and the offensive output at the other has made for a good night.
And he totally whiffs on that one. Can't get it to go. Calgary's got a hold of the puck now. Big-time saving goal as he gets all of it with the stick.
Yeah, it's in a dangerous spot. He makes a good save here.
Bye. Yeah, my wife is heading off to work, so some last-minute conversations.
Quick reflexes and good positioning to make a couple of
Kim says bye. I don't know if people can... my microphone is on. I don't know if they can hear you.
Here's a shot. He scores.
Enjoy the hacky.
That's a great shot. He's able to shoot that puck so accurately, so quickly.
Perfect shot.
It's sitting flat. Way easier to shoot it like that.
Missed the terrifical, says see ya.
He was so accurate with that shot.
I don't even know if my mic's
The
on.
puck
Yeah,
was
okay.
flat and settled on the ice before he let that one go. That's a Schneip superstar ability, and he made the most of that chance, guys.
And Gino is saying that Kim says bye. Gino is saying that the Oilers go to Ted's for subs after games there.
So to suspect another win probably wasn't a stretch for them. They extend the streak. Well, the way
I'm sure they do. Kim's saying they should try the Nanaimo bars or the pizza pretzels there. Well, we should go there next time we're passing through.
Yeah, I used to go pat the whole.
Love you too. Have a good day. Bye. Big win here. Big win. And I'm not talking about my wife either.
Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Have a great night.
Blasty, undefeated. Oh, Tim Stutzla not going to play tonight. Oh, has a knee issue and may not play tonight. My apologies. All right, we are cruising in this thing now. Dominating. Absolutely dominating. No, that's on my OnlyFans that you guys are gonna have to sign up for. All right. I'm gonna put this in the middle. Oh, I can't do that? Okay. One thing I did not take into consideration for this is bathroom breaks. So I am going to be off camera for a quick second. Hopefully I'll be back in time for the game to start.
You've been waiting all day for this, and it's about time. Hi, everybody. Along with Ray Ferraro, I'm James Cebulski here for EA Sports. Opening face-off is just seconds away. The Bolts take possession here on the opening draw, and we are underway. Tampa Bay's got it from behind the net. One-timer stops them cold. Along the half wall with the puck.
I didn't make it, and this is going horribly.
Had a lot to do with the team's winning record.
Oh, now we're going to get a breakaway.
His save percentage has been excellent all season.
Move to the middle. Denies him in front.
The most fun save for the goaltender, the glove stop.
Tampa Bay's got it against the
Oh,
boards.
Braden Point, eat it.
Slides it back to the blue line.
Oh, this Tampa Bay team is good. Let's just pause there.
Jumps on top of it to get a stoppage in play.
Get reset here.
We're still in the early stages of this period. The game is still scoreless. Well, that's one way to win.
Oh, dang. That Tampa Bay team is good.
He tucks in the rebound.
That's fine. We'll get it back. We'll get it back.
That was a perfect example of how he can use his superstar ability to get in on the offense, guys. That's
Also, I feel like not enough people are talking about how good, how good, this is a weird take of the two-time defending Stanley Cup champions, but I feel like people aren't maybe taking Tampa Bay as seriously. I think there's a bit of Tampa Bay fatigue with some people, and there's a bit of a, like, we're more excited about what, like, Toronto could do, or what Florida could do, or what Carolina could do. And I think we need to remember that this team is still, even with some of the losses they've had over the last couple of years, this is still a really good hockey team that needs to be taken, I think, very seriously. And I would just, again, the team that we are talking about and currently playing as, notwithstanding, I would love a Tampa Bay Colorado Stanley Cup final. How good would that be? And we're talking about Flames revenge. Would you guys want a Flames Lightning Stanley Cup final again? Chance to get some retribution. Or would that be too much heartache to potentially lose to a team 2 times in a row? That's the thing. Like I always get worried when it's the Riders against the Stamps, because on the one hand, when the Riders beat the Stamps, it's great, but if they lose to them, it's not good, and I don't like it.
Really good play to score and to get this game back to even. Now we'll see who can grab momentum. You've got to get rid of that puck in a hurry from that spot on the ice. You're in the high slot. You're open.
Also, happy opening day. Oh, opening day starting in a couple hours.
More than half the period.
Corbin Burns, Kyle Hendricks. A little noon start at Wrigley.
Sorelli's won the draw here in the neutral zone. Poked away in the defensive end.
Oh, Freddie Modi. Man, we got a... That is a real... Oh, and he scores, too. That is a real candidate for random NHLer of the day. Freddie Modi, and that's a strong pull for our random NHLer of the day.
What's the message on the bench, Ray?
The message is to be aggressive, to get another one, to try and stretch a lead that you've just built.
Mangiapane swooping in on the attack.
Come on, Desjardins. I can't really seem to get Eric Desjardins going.
Dumps it in. The Flames get a hold of the puck along the boards. Moves it on over to Lindholm.
Thank you, sir.
Keeps hold of the puck. Here's a blast.
Oh, right off the ankle. I'm happy that Gino's WrestleMania prediction win hasn't gone to his head, and he still remembers us little people as he gets ready for a free residential cleaning, $25 GC from Sea of Dead, and a couple tickets to Can-Am Wrestling. Coming up April 20th. That April 20th show is going to be a big one now all of a sudden. I mean, all Can-Am shows are. But got some lucha talent from Mexico coming in to come hang out at the back alley.
Takes a bump but still hangs on to the puck. The Lightning have possession along
This
the
Tampa Bay team is on.
Picked up along the wall by Kucherov.
Oh, Noah Hannafin just buried him. Beauty.
From the right side, they gain the zone. Fires it, and he stands tall and goal.
Man, just thinking about it, if the Flames end up going on a run and we'll allow ourselves to think about it, win the Stanley Cup, let's say. If they win the Cup in these jerseys for the second time, you can never go away from the retros ever again. Also, I mean, it keeps my dream alive potentially of them winning the Stanley Cup and hoisting it with Blasty. I mean, that would be my want. I don't know about anyone else, but that would be how I would want that to go anyway.
The Bolts are clinging to a 2-1 lead. Calgary's got it in the offensive zone.
Oh, good luck.
With the glove by Vasilevsky. And the puck
you don't see the quick whistle that often on this.
Slides in off the wing.
Come on, Lanny. Thought I could get that over the shoulder of Vasilevsky. Couldn't quite get there. Man, I don't know about anyone else. I am super pumped that baseball is back. And I don't even know, like, maybe it's just because the Blue Jays are supposed to be so good this year, or if it's because I was worried that we weren't going to get it this year because of the lockout. But this is the most pumped up I've been, not even just for a Blue Jay season, because that's definitely the case, but for baseball in general. I'm excited to watch Ohtani. I'm excited to watch this weirdly constructed Mets team. Or this even weirder constructed Phillies team that can't defend worth a shit. I'm excited for all of it. And yeah, I agree, Mista. It's been awesome to see all the Blue Jay stuff. And I was actually thinking, like, all this Blue Jays talk, like maybe maybe the Jays are going to end up on Fox Saturday Baseball or Sunday Night Baseball, and then looking at the schedule, nope, not at all. Nope, not even the 4-game set against the Yankees in the middle of the week do the Blue Jays get on there. So that's a bit of a, well, not at that point yet, I guess. Oh, Theo's in pain. His wrist clearly broken after scoring that goal. What is going on?
I think the goaltender's got to do a better job. There's only one player in front of
There's
him.
only one job the goaltender could do on that one, and that's be spectator.
He never picks it up until it's past him.
Here in the late goings of the period, the next goal could be a big one as we are tied. Tampa Bay's won the draw.
Yeah, I think we need to turn Theo off and turn him back on. That was a bit glitchy there.
And now it's grabbed by Nieuwendyk. Tampa Bay's got possession here in the offensive zone.
Go, Johnny, go.
Takes it across the blue line. On the doorstep, and that one's turned away. Tries to get the puck over to Cirelli. Read perfectly with the stick at center by Suter. Puck set down the ice. We'll get an icing.
That is one thing. Like, I'm not the hugest Merrick fan. I'm not a Merrick fan. But dude has a taste in music. That is for sure. He it's not just going to be. I will fully admit I don't listen. And there's a bit of bitterness there. Not towards Merrick, just the network in general. But I'm sure it wouldn't just be your regular generic rock music or anything like that. Oh, there's Iggy. He would have that on lockdown, I'm sure. And he would definitely have a say in that, totally.
Goalie just can't keep up with this. He's close to the net, but he's still able to have enough room to beat the goaltender.
Oh my god, I could buy followers, primes, and viewers on yourfollows.com. Wow.
Here, Ray, but this is what the coach wants to see, right?
Love playing
excuse me, sir. I have
you want to make the opponent chase you around
2 or 3 subscribers. I don't think I need to buy any more.
And that carries off a stick. Takes the feed. And that's poked away by Bure. Slides the puck across.
What a first period this was. Down 2-0 to up 3-2. Oh, and now we're gonna fight.
What's he thinking?
We fighting? We fighting? Yeah, we fighting.
An unlikely duo here.
Yeah, this is a trade-off somewhere. He didn't want the fight.
Oh,
and so he's getting helped
just
by his teammates.
feeding them. Gino coming over the top of the Shaquille O'Neal reference. Oh, on the right. Ends it.
Go to the judges. Oh, that'll do it, and you can tell
for I just said that really loud. For primetime PK after dark, the follows are gonna just start pouring in. It's such a great chirp too. Tell me how my ass tastes. Oh, it's just that we forget now, and especially now because of one of them's not here anymore. And also they made up. But that Shaq-Kobe feud for a bit was as close to 2000 version of a blood feud as you could get in sports. It was heated. And even when they were on the same team, they hated each other for a bit. Like that was, and they've made good since then. And they're right. If they could have just kept the egos in check, that team, like Kobe would be close to MJ for the amount of championships won. As it is, like still did well once they got Pau Gasol there. But that they still had a couple more years of winning championships there if they could have got their stuff figured out.
Lots of time left in this period.
You think when the Mets spent $400 million this offseason, they thought, oh yeah, I can't wait for a fellow named McGill to be our opening day starter. I think that's a bit different than the initial plan. Go, Big Al! Oh. Couldn't get that long reach around Vasilevsky.
He's going to feel he missed one there. You don't get many chances that clean. The goalie turns it aside.
Shut him down.
Puck is dropped and we are back underway. The Bolts have it now. Enters the offensive zone from the left. Shot along the wall. And he makes
Big rebound. Good job, Suter.
Takes it to the net. Oh, he got all of that with the blocker.
Man, Vasilevsky is good. Oh, we're fighting? Yeah, we are.
Look out. Look who's stepping in here.
Swung his arms back and forth a couple of times. Like, okay. Warmed up, and here we go. Look, Iggy loves fighting one of the top players on the Tampa Bay Lightning, okay? It is a rite of passage that Jerome McGinley has to fight someone with a letter on him for Tampa Bay.
You got guys running together at high speed. Eventually, somebody's going to get frustrated. I'd say both of them got frustrated at the same time there.
Pretty crowded penalty box, but we're all right. How did they get a power play out of that? Oh, because Joe Nundag checked a guy from behind, right?
Offense's own face-off, and he wins the draw. Looks to get the puck over to Bure. Grips it and rips it. And
Oh, he wasn't ready. Wasn't ready.
Tampa Bay's got a hold of the puck. Here's a short pass to McDonough. And it's a quick pass to Chernak. Lets it go from the slot.
Okay, well, power play against Tampa Bay. That's probably how that's going to go. So that checks out. That's fair. Only 14 this season for Stammer. They got to get him going. My cat's just staring at me right now. Hi, Bailey. Nothing? Okay. Man, how good are the playoffs going to be this year? Like, I know that's not, again, just scorching hot take. Peter Klein says Stanley Cup playoffs will be exciting. But, like, the East is going to be stupid good. Same thing, like, there's a couple of, I think there's a couple of other duds in the West compared to what we have in the East. But, like, the East playoffs, Toronto, Boston, Florida against Tampa Bay, Carolina, whoever, Rangers against the Penguins. Like, it's all just going to be so good. I cannot wait. The basketball playoffs are going to be really exciting, especially in the East. And so that just has me just, like, geared up for this time of year, you know?
Picked up along the boards by Mangiapane. Wrist shot from the slot. That's off a stick.
Oh no, my controller battery is getting low.
Right up the gut into the attacking zone. Excellent stick work on the play.
Gotta love a good poke check. Love a good poke in the morning. Oh, just about. Right, sorry. I forgot that I was playing the role of Calgary radio replacement this morning. I forgot. No NBA talk. No NBA talk. The CFL is stupid and dying. And the Canadian Premier League is the greatest thing that's ever happened. Oh, there we go. But no, there is a PGA thing today. Yes, the Masters on. If you're looking for the preview for it, to know some of the stories going in, aside from, oh my God, Tiger's playing, my podcast with Adam Stanley, had a blast chatting with him for about half an hour. It is available now for a preview on the PGA thing. Oh, dude, like I'm trying to get tomorrow's podcast taped so I can just bail out of here for Saskatchewan on my 8-hour drive first thing in the morning. But, like, there's those baseball games on all day, and the Masters is on. I'm probably going to get nothing accomplished today.
He just couldn't complete it, and the play dies on his stick.
Denies the shooter on that play.
That was my, oh, what a shot. That was my first, getting laid off actually isn't that bad, because I got laid off on the 26th of March, and then a couple weeks later, Masters are on, and it was oh, dang, look at this. I'm home all day, just able to watch the Masters for 15 hours a day. It was beautiful. I think Tiger makes the cut. I don't think he'd be coming back just to give it the old college try and not be able to do. I don't think he would be coming back if he couldn't do it, I'm not saying like at a super high level, because he just hasn't been that for a bit. But he's not coming back to Augusta to miss the cut. So I think that, I don't know if he like is in contention or anything like that, but I think he makes the cut.
The Flames have all the momentum right now, leading by 2. Nieuwendyke's won the draw.
Oh, McKinnon shot off the ankle, but it sets up Johnny. They figure that move out. Usually only get one of those goals a game. Usually try for 5, but usually only get 1. Oh, we got Al McInnes again.
Here's a shot. Oh, what a denial by Vasilevsky. Slides the puck over.
Another Al McInnes. Oh.
Denies him with the save. Calgary's got the puck along the boards. Takes the feed.
Freddie Modine is all over this game, and I am all over that. I love that so much.
Yeah, puck doesn't get to the net. Good positioning by the defender.
Moves it quickly over to Palat.
Yeah, I am the exact. I am totally with you on that, Gino. With Tiger, like, excuse me.
The Bolts take it along the wall.
Go to the players. I think that's a pretty good warm up. Do the majors. What's Jack's tournament? The Memorial. Do that and call it a year. Win a few $100,000. Get some endorsement money. Although not wearing the Nikes this time around. Big controversy. Big controversy.
Laying the body. Nice poke check. Taken along the wall by Kucherov.
Oh, Coleman just got crushed.
Kiprasov's had a difficult night tonight. He's really struggled with the puck bouncing around on him. That was a sharp save there.
Oh, couldn't quite get that on the forehand. Yeah, Ruslan Fedotenko, also a solid random NHLer.
Calgary's looking to break out of their own end. Along the side, here they come through the neutral zone. Simple stop by Vasilevsky. And the goaltender grabs that one.
Well, I think the Nike thing, it's not the skeletons in the closet thing. They left him for a bit, but he needs a different kind of shoe. Because, like, his ankle exploded in that car crash a couple years ago, right? So, I don't think it's a Nike fuck you to him or anything like that. I think it's I need a different kind of shoe so I can walk for 5 hours. Which makes it crazy that he's coming back when he needs a special shoe to walk. But I think that's more what it is. They definitely, I think they left him for a bit. But that is not the reason this time around.
Coming to the slot. Oh, big time save by Vasilevsky.
Yeah, I hated when
Let's see, can we get someone open?
You don't get many that are this quality. You want to put them away because you don't know when the next one's going to come.
Puck picked up by Fleury. Off a stick. Nice play shorthanded as they
Come
get
on.
control of the puck.
There we go.
16 seconds to go. Hammers one at the net. Blocked in traffic. The Bolts gain possession of the
Lenny.
defensive zone.
Look at that battle for the loose puck.
Sends the pass over.
All right, strong second period, boys. Strong second period.
And there's the horn.
I'm guessing they've, like, basically teed off at the Masters now, hey? Like, there'll at least be some early guys out there, I would assume. Oh, yeah. Padraig Harrington. 1 under through 9. Tied for the lead. Oh, these are some names on the leaderboard. Padraig, Greaser, Higgs, Gooch, and Homa are your leaders right now at Augusta National. I'm cheering for Gooch. Come on, Taylor Gooch.
Penalty killers get off to a good start, winning possession here. Quick feed to Cirelli. And that's picked off. Across the line from center. Turned aside with a glove. Vasilevsky's got the puck. Boy, he's been
Birdie on 2 from the Goochster. Mackenzie Hughes even through 4. Gino saying Tiger just teed off.
Nielsen's ready to take the draw here on this power play. And as the puck is dropped, they win the draw here inside the defensive zone. And now it's over to Cirelli. Tampa Bay's ready to go on the attack. The Flames have it from their own end.
James, he's only one goal away from the next plateau. He's really working the puck now.
Here's a rip.
Oh, how did that stay out? Oh, what a save. Vasilevsky. Robbery.
To shave a few seconds off this penalty now. They try to maintain possession inside the defensive zone. Pokes it away.
I would imagine with all the different channels we have covering this now, I would imagine we have just like a straight Tiger feed somewhere.
Broken up with the stick in the defensive end.
Get going.
It's an odd man rush. 2-on-1.
Oh, they broke it up. Get their out.
Effort to poke it away.
Kucherov's time is almost done.
They've really got that. Hey, Deeds, how's it going? They've really got that cross crease pass kind of figured out.
The frozen biscuits dropped, and we are back underway here. The Bolts will play it from the defensive zone. The Flames get nothing here on this power play.
Fun fact about the they're great voice. For a long time, that was a guy named Lee Marshall who did some play-by-play for WCW as well, and some like interviews in the back. So there, little Tony the Tiger trivia for you on a Thursday morning.
Looks to make a play over to LeCavalier.
All right, enough Tiger talk. We have to focus on beating the Tampa Bay Lightning. I cannot lose to the Tampa Bay Lightning with the Calgary Flames on my stream.
LeCavalier's picking up momentum through center. And that's broken out.
Oh no.
Look out! Spectacular stop by the goaltender. How did he hang on to that?
No room for the shooter. The goaltender snuffed it out.
Makes a move in front. Oh, how did he get a glove on that? What a stop by Vasilevsky.
What a stop indeed. Man, we used to have a lot more guys in that top thing. Then I messed around with some of these all-star games and screwed up our point totals. What a top line that is, though. St. Louis, Point, and Kucherov, good lord.
But they still need one more in order to tie. Grabbed along the boards by McDonough. Here's a short pass to Point. On the attack along the boards. Stopped by the goaltender. Calgary's got the puck in the defensive end. And they continue to apply pressure here.
Hi, Toxic. You've entered the chat at an interesting time. We're making sexual puns off of Frosted Flakes, and Gino is unearthing the painful memories for some with Game 7 of 2004 Stanley Cup Final, while we play the Tampa Bay Lightning and Vincent LeCavalier scores a goal. So we've got a lot of bases covered here right now. Brad Lukowich. Woo. Another random NHLer.
The Flames scoop it up along the boards. Angles it over to Goudreau. And he regains control of the puck. The Bolts gain possession.
Yeah, that's another thing. We've established that Taylor Gooch is the official golfer of the Primetime PK stream and the Couch Potato Diary podcast.
Now into the offensive zone.
Go, Johnny, go.
Moves into the slot.
I thought the hesitation might get him.
There's the whistle as things will slow down here for a moment.
Always a good play. If you're not sure what's going on, freeze the puck.
Officials are in position, and both teams are getting ready as they get set.
VJ Singh is still playing at this event, hey? Gooch is still in tied for the lead.
Won a big draw on their own end. Sends a pass over. Tries to get the puck to Palat. Couldn't find the intended target.
Score predictions for tonight. I'm going to say the Flames exercise that demon and beat the San Jose Sharks. I will say 4-1. I think San Jose just kind of playing out the string. You know what? I'll say 4-2. I'll give them an extra goal against, I'm assuming, the Flames' backup goalie tonight. So I will say 4-2 final. And I think Yarncroc comes back into the lineup and scores. Get ink specific.
The only stop you can get
Man, that
is from the goalie
upcoming
freezing.
game schedule thing that they just flashed up there, that would have been a murderer's row like 20 years ago. Red Wings, Avalanche, Devils. Oh, you're coming out of that stretch 0 for 3 every time.
Tampa Bay's moving it along the wing. And look at this. We've got a 2-on-1.
Again, they got that figured out.
The Lightning have the puck in their own zone. Passes it to Stamkos.
Yeah, we have the same ratio. We just think we'll get there differently.
Takes the feed in the middle of the ice.
Come on, man. Oh, double. Hannafin scored a big goal for us earlier in the stream. 12 seconds left, tie game against Minnesota. He went Michael Stone on it, firing one top shelf. Gooch and Grease are still at the top of the lead. The downside with Gooch at the Masters is Jim Nance is not the announcer to take advantage of a Gooch pun. Oh man, Japani snipe. Jim Nance is not the announcer to take advantage of a Gooch pun at Augusta.
He puts the right guys on the ice because they go right back down the ice and score. The goaltender never picks this up. There's so many.
The green jacket is now the Gooch jacket. Taylor Gooch has won the Masters.
It is a seeing eye shot.
And both centers glide into the dot as a face-off set to resume. Face-off here in the neutral zone, and we are back underway. Let's it go. Great save by Vasilevsky.
Great save, Vasilevsky.
The puck, we get a whistle.
Starting to look like a little bit.
That was more Macho Man than it was old Jim Houston. I'm okay with it though.
Who had the better night? Carlin standing by.
Point's a great player when he gets engaged, and he has been that tonight with the offensive side of his game. I've been impressed.
Al McInnes hammer. Oh, what a glove save.
Wow, what a stop by
Tiger with the par on one. Okay. Oh, geez. Sorry, hit a wrong button. We're back. We're fine.
McDonald's goals give his team a lift, guys. His
My bad.
leader zone ability means he can inspire the squad and lead them.
I just got so excited about a par on one from Tiger.
While the centers are jammed up,
Keep doing that for 35 more holes, and we got Tiger playing on the weekend.
The Flames have a hold of it in the defensive zone. That goes wide. Picked up along the boards by McDonald. Oh, denies him with the paddle save. Ref blows the whistle as the puck's covered up.
I hope they chant Gooch off the tee. Or, like when he's on the green, as soon as he makes contact with the ball to putt, I hope it's Gooch once it goes in.
Play rolls on. The Lightning have
That's probably more of a waste management Phoenix Open thing than it is a Augusta National thing, but I still think it'd be great.
Great use of the stick in the defensive end by Suter. Calgary's moving it up the ice.
That's a good play. He chips it into the offensive zone. Now he can get after it. Try and run some time off the clock here. This is where you want to play defense.
Officials getting ready to drop the puck. Puck possession so key in today's game. Calgary's won the draw and they'll go to work. That goes up a twig.
Yeah, of all the golfers to not take it one hole at a time, it's probably Tiger.
Tampa Bay's moving it into the offensive end. Strong defensive effort. Taken along the wall by Stamkos. Goaltender has made his way to the bench. The
empty net for Tampa Bay.
They need a goal here big time.
I want to get Jerome a goal against the Lightning.
A minute to go in the third.
For what?
Ahead, let's get the call.
This is
Bullshit
always a
call.
fine line.
Bullshit
You're
call.
allowed a little interference, just not that much.
Stamkos knows he can contribute and get his team back in this game if he uses his zone ability to get some looks here. Let's
Also,
see what
holy
he can do
cannoli,
out of this shit,
underutilized
guys.
save.
And now it's grabbed by McDonough. He was totally locked in on that play. Through center along the wing. A shot at the
And dagger.
Scores into the empty net.
Well, it shouldn't miss that. I mean, there's nobody standing there. Put it in the cage.
Crowd loves
No
it.
pressure, right?
Lindholm's ready for the draws. They will continue to try to kill off this penalty. And with the two centers tangled up, the winger skates away with it. And there's the save.
If there's one thing I can do to make the wounds from 04 maybe go away, it's definitely scoring an empty net goal on a video game. Oh, outshoot him 47-17. Means it's not a great night for old Mika Kiprasov there, but still.
Tampa Bay's got it in the defensive zone. Moves it quickly over to McDonough. Tampa Bay's got possession at center.
Take that point. Oh, take that to me.
Doesn't go. Fails to find the open man. The Flames will kill off a few extra seconds now. Puck dumped in. McDonough stick handling in his own zone. Tampa Bay's working the transition through the middle of the ice. Great reach with the poke check.
Big win. Big win streak for this team. We are on a roll right now. Top team in the NHL continues to roll. The Calgary Flames. Complete dominance. All right, the Tiger is out there, and also I'm a little tired, and I haven't had breakfast yet. So this is where the stream will come to an end. Thank you all so much for tuning in. This was a lot of fun. I don't know how many more 6:30 in the morning ones I'm going to do, but I do this fairly regularly. If you were tuning in for the first time, hit follow. If you're feeling really frisky and you want to hit subscribe, by all means. And I have a podcast that comes out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. It is called Couch Potato Diary, and it is available wherever you can get your podcasts. And you can follow me on Twitter at PrimetimeKlein for updates on the stream and for updates on the podcast. I will talk to y'all later. Have a good day, everybody.